Thank you, Nani, for the Oli. We're gonna do the Pule Vehi Haupu. Can do the Pule? Yes.
Mahalo. Shall we bow our heads? Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening in fervent prayers, Lord. We ask you to go before our community this evening, our presenters that are here, all of the people representing the community, and this evening discussion, Lord, be with us and guiding us through this neighborhood board meeting and our community concerns. We ask these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Thank you, Haupu, for that wonderful prayer. We're gonna do a moment of silence for former Congresswoman Colleen Hanabusa and also Wai'anae resident and advocate Auntie Verna May Lemomi Lanford Bright. Can we take a moment of silence right now? Mahalo, everybody. Thank you. Item number 2 is declaration of any conflicts by board members. Hearing none. Item number 3 is City Emergency and First Responders Report. We're going to start off with HFD, Honolulu Fire Department.
Hello. Hi, I'm Captain Ishima from the Wai'anae Fire Station. I'm here to report the statistics for the previous month. For fires, we had 2 structure fires, 1 wildland brush fire, 9 nuisance fires, 1 cooking fire, and 8 activated alarms with no fire. As far as other emergencies, we had 150 medical emergencies, no motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 2 motor vehicle crashes, 0 mountain rescues, 1 ocean rescue, and 0 hazardous material incidents. And then our fire tip for this month, since that yesterday is a starting of hurricane season, right? Runs from June 1st to November 30th. So as we enter into the season, it's time to check your kits, refresh your supplies, and ensure everyone in your family knows your plan. Visit honolulu.gov/DEM to learn about the risks and hazards, how to prepare, and what to do in the event hurricane threatens our islands. So some of the things to remember, build a 14-day disaster supply kit to include everything your household would need to survive for 2 weeks without utilities or access to outside supplies. Check your insurance policies to determine what, if any, hurricane-related damage is covered by your policy. Insurance do not include hurricane or flood coverage. Get appropriate supplies to protect windows. They need to be sized for your windows well in advance of the storm. And sign up to get storm alerts direct to your phone at hnlalert.gov. That's the statistics for this month from the Honolulu Fire Department. Any questions?
Anyone in person have questions for HFD? Nope. Board? Nope. Anybody online? I don't see. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, next up is Honolulu Police Department, HPD.
Hi, good evening. Corporal Corey Makino, District 8 Community Policing Team. Online with me is also Sergeant Fumi Muroka. I have the statistics for last month. Motor vehicle theft, we had 25 in our district. We had 2 in the Wai'anae area. Burglaries was 25 in the district and 9 in the area. Thefts was 101 for the district. Wai'anae area was 24. Unauthorized entry to motor vehicle, we had 19 in our district. And in Wai'anae, we had 4. Traffic citations, we had 12 speeding, 397 moving violations, 37 parking violations. Total citations issued was 741. Total calls for the district was 9,497. Total calls in Wai'anae was 1,914. Open to any questions, comments, or concerns.
Okay, anyone in person wants to ask HPD questions, come to the mic, state your name.
Aloha, Officer. Pikachu Shelby, billionaire. I have an honest question because I will be at the police commissioners meeting tomorrow. I have my own personal feelings, but I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on David Lazar from San Francisco becoming your new chief of police?
Just like when we have any new chiefs coming in, we just go with the changes. I don't know him personally, so I'm not gonna make any judgments right now. But just like any day, we're gonna do as we do. Show up to work and continue to do what we do and keep everybody safe.
Mahalo nui. Thanks.
Hello, HPD. We're proud of what you guys do. Like bring attention, make awareness to the district area. Besides 2 burglaries ending of last month, in May, and the 3-day weekend, my property and my neighbor's property got burglarized. Same motive of entry. They carried bolt cutters. Secondly, there's a lot of stray dogs that's coming about on agriculture property. It poses a threat to agricultural landowners with livestock again. So a lot of encampments carry a lot of the unleashed dogs. We need control out there at K-House. That's 2. Okay, that's all I have. And if you guys can have Hawaii Humane Society get involved with the capturing of this stray dogs that poses a threat to agriculture, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at that.
Thank you. Anyone else in person would like to approach the mic? Come to the mic, state your name, sir.
I'd like to know what's happening on the issue of the golf carts, because I live in Hines, or Dade Street, and there is abundance of that going. I almost hit a couple of kids, so I just want to know what's happening on that issue with all the dirt and stuff going up and down the Hines, flying like crazy. So, and you get taking care of that. I'd like to know what the situation that is.
Well, we officers continually patrolling, but if is a nuisance like a dirt bike going up and down your street, we do encourage just call it in. An officer can be dispatched to that area so he can address it when he sees the violations as well.
I tried that, and I talked to the lady on the phone. I told her that there's a motorcycle going up and down my street flying, and she said, "What is he doing?" And I said, "He's riding." And she told me she didn't have time to deal with that and hung up on me. And I thought that was pretty out of adjustment, I guess. So what do you say about that? Just what happened to me? I don't know if it's gonna happen again, but
Was that officer or was that dispatch?
that was the woman that answered the phone with 911.
Yeah.
Dispatchers.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry that happened. I don't know what exactly occurred. But yeah, if there's like a nuisance, like we do encourage just to call it in, and then normally an officer should be dispatched. If you have issues with that, you can also call the Wai'anae police station as well, and maybe they can call for an officer to go check the area.
Officer Makino, what is the proper verbiage when you're calling in for such matter as what he's stating in that there's like people flying with e-bikes or motorcycles up and down a street. What is the proper verbiage?
I'll be more like a
Nuisance?
traffic complaint. It can either be, or if it's
Okay.
like a noise nuisance, if there's a loud motorcycle, it can be either or. But normally, if we get like a reckless or motorcycle driving back and forth, and you can articulate that it's being recklessly going up and down, speeding or making plenty noises, yeah. More information you give dispatch does help. So if you do maybe say that there's a lot of noise coming or he's driving recklessly, that may cause more of an urgency for the dispatcher to dispatch somebody out there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Online, we have Johnny May. Johnny May, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. The question I have for HPD is, what is the process when you have cars parked on the road? They don't have the license plate is expired, there's no sticker, probably no insurance, but they park on the public road. What is your protocol as far as traffic enforcement? Thank you.
Expired registration and safety inspection stickers, officers can give us citation or they can even tow. Normally officers aren't driving around looking for these types of because they're responding to calls. But if you do want to make like a kind of a parking complaint, like there's a specific car that you want to tell the officer that this one is expired, or even if it's abandoned, you can just call 911 or even the 311 app as well, and then make a report regarding the specific car. But normally, if it's an expired registration sticker or safety, officers can cite.
Okay, can you guys periodically do that in the community? This thing about calling 911 is nonsense. I'm already addressing the concern. So periodically, can HPD enforce that law that's on the books? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else online? No. Okay, thank you, HPD, for your time. Appreciate
Chair.
you.
Chair, may I just?
Oh, go ahead, Joe. Sorry. I have Board Member Joe Jordan.
For the gentleman on Lahaina Street, just to let you know, the city and the state will be jointly installing speed humps on Lahaina Street, 8 of them total this summer. This summer, sir. The road's already marked, so you can see. Yes, sir.
Okay, so Honolulu Ocean Safety Department.
Thank you, Board, for having us here again. The month of May, we had a total of 26 911 calls to our District 4 operations. We did have a CPR case on one of the Dolphin Turbos last week. Our rescue team went out, jumped on and assisted them in CPR. Surf and dive, we had a couple surf and dive rescues. We had a multiple rescue at Cales Beach Park, 4 people somehow got out there. Our rescue team got all of them out. We had a 3-person rescue on a kayak. They got swept out, Wai'anae. We also assisted the Coast Guard with the search at North Shore, and we were unable, it's too far to assist the search for Joe and the missing boat. Trauma, we had 2 trauma cases at Pokai Bay, 2 people passed out. We also had a individual who overdosed on meth, and I think this was the first time we used the Narcan on the side with the lifeguards. They took him to the comp. Status seemed okay. We had a couple multiple shark sightings at Miley Point and Miley Beach Park. And also we had weather-related weather. We had a lightning bolt hit the road by Macaw Beach, and all our guards took shelter that day. It was a little too dangerous to be sitting in a tower. Other than that, the road is still closed at Waipomos, and I'm not sure when the DOT will be done of it. And our junior guard program is just started yesterday, Monday, and that will go to, I think, July the second week in July. And the last thing is our Watchtower program that just got released. It's a computer-based, it's a little tablet, is going to all the lifeguard towers. It should be there by the end of the month. They're gonna be coming out and doing a demo on the 11th and 15th of this month.
Awesome. Anybody in person would like to ask any questions of ocean safety? Board, go ahead.
I just had a question in regard to Magsio and Nanakuli.
Oh, yes, we towed it back to, Nanapui Beach Park, I believe. by canoe.
So I'm wondering if that's the normal process to tie the seal by its fins and.
We asked, I believe we asked NOAA Fisheries what they wanted us to do with the seal, either tow it out or bring it back to the fisheries for the biopsy. Came and claimed it, I think it was a couple hours later.
Okay, so the normal process would be to tie it and then drag it.
The
up.
best we can get it in. It's pretty heavy in the water. It's super heavy. To lift that thing on the back of a ski is, you're gonna take 4 or 5 people.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so no one in person and no one online. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate you. And next up is Board of Water Supply, BWS.
Okay. Is this thing on? Yeah. For the month of July, we had, June, no. May. Sorry, I'm reading that this is June. We had 2 main breaks on Kaupuni Street by Wai'anae KFC, 4-inch, both on the same day, May 1st. That's all the main breaks we had for last month. General water announcements, semi-annual water quality report. Each year, BWS conducts thousands of tests on the water sources and distribution system to ensure that municipal water meets or exceeds all federal and state safe drinking water standards. Testing results are shared with customers via semi-annual water quality reports. The first report is mailed to all customers by July 1st, and the second one is sent in December. You can get your report online at boardofwatersupply.com/WQR. You can find additional water quality information there, including a new large print booklet that describes the origin of your water and substances listed in your report. You may also call 808-748-5041 for more information. Last month, Mrs. Salcido asked a couple of questions. The first one was, in today's day and age, with all our technological advances, what is BWS doing to find water main breaks before they occur? BWS uses various tools to identify possible leaks before they develop into larger main breaks. This includes a dedicated team that uses satellite leak detection technology, honing to identify areas of interest, and then work to repair the leak. Her second question was, she had heard that wastewater and some other companies were relining the insides of their pipes to extend the longevity of their pipes, and if Board of Water was looking into it. BWS is also looking at pipelining where it makes sense. For example, we are currently in the early design phase to rehabilitate an inactive 24-inch water transmission line along Farrington Highway into the leeward coast. This project would use a cured in-place pipe lining method along with limited open cut construction in some areas to create a redundant transmission line and improve water service for customers along the Wai'anae coast. Please note that pipelining is not the best option for every water main. In many cases, we prefer to replace old pipe using epoxy-coated ductile iron with cathodic protection. This is designed to achieve an approximate 100-year service life.
Does anyone in person have questions for BWS? Go ahead, Dina.
So the question I have is, during the recent Honolulu storms, how much of the rainwater was actually captured and will be able to be utilized by our community or any community for that matter within the Wai'anae, since we have basically a shortage of water all the time? Was any of that water captured and can be reused?
I could get the official wording, but I know that much water at one time saturates the ground to where the ground can't take anymore and it turns into runoff and just goes into the ocean. So I'm sure we did benefit from those rains, but a lot of it just went into the ocean.
You are able to find somebody to determine whether there was positive impacts to this rain and how it helps our community, or whether or not we need to be looking at tools to capture water so that
Like a
it
catchment
becomes,
system.
yes.
I could ask. Thank you.
Anyone else in person? We don't have anyone online. I have a question. So I went to one of those swag meetings and they talked about the catchment containers. When you come to the next board meeting, can you give us more information about that? Because they didn't have any pamphlets or handouts, and I went to this recent one and I didn't see anything, because there's a lot of community members that would like to catch water in those 55-gallon drums. So if you could share that information, if you guys have that, because I'm not sure, is it your department or is it another city department?
No, that would be us.
Oh, okay.
I have seen those rain barrels. We have them stockpiled in Halava by the Xeriscape. But I mean, I don't know how accessible it is to the public.
Yeah, you can find out for me. Sorry, it went past me. I know they explained it, but it was kind of long and I didn't capture the slides because my phone was dying. So if you can get that info, that would be great, because I know a lot of community members asked about catching water in those 55-gallon drums. And I was like, oh, they have a city program that does that and distributes that. But if you can get me the info. Okay, thank you so much. Joe get one question.
Just clarification on what you were saying regarding the 24-inch transmission line. Is that going to replace the one that you guys changed
Yes, we
15 years ago? And just Black Rock, or are you going to go all the way down Farrington Highway?
They weren't exactly clear on that. They just said the water for the Wai'anae coast. They didn't say specifically where it's coming into, but I can check on that.
Yeah, if you can, because the water main breaks we've had over the last 8 years were that new line that was installed all the way from Ko'olina to Black Rock, all the way into Wai'anae. And I think it's the pipe that keeps fatiguing. So I just want to understand, are you going to be replacing that again? Because that was an 8-year project.
I can check.
If you can, and next month, or share it with our chair, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, BWS. Appreciate you. Moving on to the next item, number 4, military official report. Army Representative, Lieutenant Colonel.
Good evening, board and community. I just have a few notes this month for training, a job fair, and an upcoming community day. First, the Army will conduct training in June on Schofield Barracks and East Range. It includes artillery, mortar, and demolitions at Schofield, which will occur day and night, including late evening and early morning hours. Residents near these training areas will experience increased noise, vibrations. It can be loud, but it's critical for the training in this month of June. For any concerns that anyone may have, please call the Garrison Concern Line 808-787-1528. We have an upcoming job fair for U.S. Army Garrison on 2 separate dates. The first one on June 24th at the AMVETS West Oahu Veterans Center, and the second one on July 21st, outside of the month, at the Alamano Military Reservation Gym from 8:30 to 2 on each of those. Opportunities there are working at Child and Youth Services with on-the-spot job offers. They can come with benefits, including retirement, discounted childcare, and access to post facilities. And we do have a community day, free community day at the Army Community facility at Fort DeRussy on June the 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those are all my notes that I have for this month, and standing by for any questions you may have.
Go ahead, state your name.
Hello, sir. Pikachu Shelby, billionaire here, U.S. Air Force Veteran. Good to see you. You're not in Bahrain, Kuwait, or Iraq, because I already seen it on X and Twitter. They're already bombing. The U.S. Donald Trump ordered the strikes over the Strait of Hormuz. Iran countered and hit multiple targets from the bases. And I got video footage all over X, all going over. It's not on Facebook because people don't. Just want to say thank you because you guys are safe. You are sane. You are sane. And U.S. Army, hoorah. I never trust anyone with bone heel spurs. We never want to fight a war in Vietnam. Because Pikachu joined when I was 17. And I'm proud of what I've done, but I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't want to see people die for war, especially for Israel. Thank you very much. USA, baby. Phew.
Thank you. Anyone else in person? Nope. We have online someone with the letter D, like in dog.
Yes, hello. I was wondering if Schofield Barracks would be open next month, July 4th, for the Independence Day.
Yes, ma'am. I don't have specific notes about events occurring on July 4th, but the normal hours at the gates and the normal access requirements are in place to the best of my knowledge. But I can surely look up July events and bring them back early next month for everyone's awareness.
Thank you.
Sir, can you please send that info to me in an email because our next meeting is July 7th, so it'll be after 4th of July. And then I can forward that to the person that just asked the information. Person online, can you put your email in the chat so that I can respond to you and send you that info?
Yes, Ms. Terry.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. Have a good evening. Next up is certificate of appreciation for Mr. Calvin Endo, who's not here, but I will go see him and give him his lei and his certificate. But we do have Jeffrey Jones here. Oh no, oh no. So,
How you guys doing?
behind you. Just wanted to thank you for your service. I have the Wai'anae colors, you know. And then, so this certificate, in grateful recognition of your exceptional service and dedication to the Wai'anae Coast Neighborhood Board, number 24, for over 2 years, your commitment and support as a neighborhood assistant helped strengthen the board's operations and positively impacted the Wai'anae Coast community and the residents we serve. On behalf of the Wai'anae Coast Neighborhood Board, we extend our sincere appreciation and heartfelt mahalo for your dedicated service. We wish you continued success and happiness in your future endeavors. Here you go. Thank you. Yeah. He always had my back, so it's a good thing. Learned a lot. He can. Please, go ahead.
All right. Well, I didn't have anything really prepared, but Jeffrey Jones, just for the record, thank you, board, and for the community for giving me a certificate. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure serving on the board for as long as I did. Of course, being born and raised in the community, being able to serve in this capacity on this board as the neighborhood assistant was a pleasure. The community, you guys are in wonderful hands with these board members. You guys are still in wonderful hands with the neighborhood commission office. I see Rachel. I don't want to butcher your name too much, Braxton. I know that you guys are in wonderful hands with the neighborhood commission office still.
I'll still very much be in the community. I'm working for the Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii organization as their child and club safety coordinator now. So I'll very much still be in the community and still be giving back to a community that's given so much to me since I've been a part of it. So thank you all very much, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. Okay, we're moving on to item number 6, committee reports, housing and homelessness. Chair Nani Peterson, if you can take 3 minutes to just share briefly about the meeting and try to emphasize in regards to Ms. Palama what's going to be brought forward so that they have a glimpse of what's going to be presented. Thank you.
Mahalo, Chair. It was actually a really good meeting, very informative. Fran actually was very detailed in her presentation. Please go and grab some books over there to take a look at that. We went through just about everything that we needed, including some of the questions that were brought upon by community members in regards to the shoreline 60 feet requirement. And so setback, sorry. Yeah, and so that has been met. And so, yeah, we had no opposition. No objection. We had no objection to move forward within the presentation. You're going to, I'm just gonna let Fran. She's very good, thorough, and to the point, and very aloha. I think one thing that I wanted to mention also is that the owners were able to come and talk story with us, and that's super important. Yeah, and so I appreciated that, and I think that's how it should be. Yeah, going forward. So mahalo, Fran, for being the start to that type of movement. Right?
Thank you, Chair Nani. Appreciate your time. So now we're gonna move on to the presentation. So Mauna Kai and Associates. It's the CSY MOUA single family dwelling project on 84-909 Mo'ua Street. TMK is 8-005 semicolon 008. Go ahead, Fran.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Board. Thank you, Nani, for that. Aloha mai kako. My name is Fran Palama, and I'm the owner of Mauna Kai and Associates. I'm also the presenter for this evening. Small kind talk story, yeah, because Nani just touched upon that, okay, about the family coming, and they've been so excited. They keep asking me when can they show up, to the meeting. And so they came, and so the story goes like this. The Chains, the Shigemasa, and the UN family, they're local families. They came out here when they were young, all across from Nanakuli, through Maile, all the way through Makaha, all the way out to Yokes. So they were children when they were growing up, they were fishing, they were doing all of the things that we do as children, camping and making good memories. Along the journey, they wanted to find a piece of property out here. So this particular piece of property was empty from 2020, and they were able to purchase this property. And it was really important for them to come to the housing committee, and they shared their mana'olana and what they were up to. So, okay, there we go. So what is this whole thing about, okay? It's pretty much meeting all the requirements for the SMA major. The SMA major permit is for those that are actually going to build along the shoreline. And so, get back to this thing. Kalamaya, because it's over there, and I'm okay. Okay. So we go through this challenging over here. There we go. Okay. So basically, you're following the coastal management procedures and the process. And the purpose of all of this is number one, when you have a development, you need it. 2, the setback is 60 feet, as Nani had mentioned earlier. And then also, if it's over $500,000, okay, this process took about a year, and we're going to go through 2 more public hearings, maybe another 2 or 3 more months before they can get their permit to build. The process for the permitting has already been completed, so they've met all the requirements in the drawings. And so in the booklet, if you haven't gotten the booklet, they have booklets back here. You can help yourself, because the process includes, number one, the application, and you go through notifying the surrounding neighborhoods, okay, to let them know that you're going to be building, all right? And then you present, like tonight, you get your comments and everything. And then we look for a decision, okay? Then after that decision,
hopefully when we go through this, there's no objections, and so as we go through the report, there are several different exhibits that are in the report. There's about 14 of them, but these are just a few, where they say, where's the project site? They're in the SMA, the zoning is R10, this particular neighborhood, meaning that the residential 10,000 square feet. We're looking at the sea level rise exposure area anywhere from 0.2 to 3.2 feet. And by 2100, we're looking at 3.2 feet on their site. This is required. This is a certified shoreline survey map. This is required by the state. And you go through the environmental process in order that this particular project is posted in the environmental notice. And the surveyors also took pictures of the erosion that was happening in front of the property of this CSY MOUA, Mo'ua Street project. And so this is what the erosion looked like. Total of about 1,800 square feet has already been eroded for the property. And so they're building 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3 uncovered garage on a concrete. And according to the this particular drawing in here, I don't know if you can see that or not, I don't think so. Only because they're like right in here is where the 60-foot line is at the setback. And if you take this line down here where the surveyor is at, this is what that looks like, 60 feet. And then this is the home. The parking is on the backside, and this is Mo'ua Street out in here, this area. And then this is the Lanai area that faces the ocean. And this is not a rental. This is not a B&B, ABC, and MOUSE. This is for family. They want to come here and enjoy and share the yesterdays with their family members. And so. You mean okay. Anyway, but they're excited about moving in. And so there is a process that we've been going through. It's been about a year now on this process, and finally get to meet all of you here, and it's exciting. And so it is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath structure, and that's what the elevations look like. If you have a booklet in front of you, you can go through that. So if there are any questions for me, I'm open to any questions.
Okay, in person, anyone has questions? Okay, online, I see 2 hands, no? 1. I see Johnny May. Johnny May, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your presentation. I guess this is an investment and this may be a trust. It seems like too small for such 3 different families. Do they get information about vacation rentals? Because I believe this is not a resort zone. So are you familiar that they cannot have bed and breakfast and vacation rental? Although you said it, but it means nothing if it's not in writing. So are they familiar that they cannot utilize this investment of theirs for that purpose? Thank you.
Yes, they cannot use that for that purpose, and they brought it to the attention of that it was not going to be used for any kind of rental. It was for the family to come. They're not on a trust. Each of them had participated in pulling up the kala to be able to purchase the property. I think one of the owners had some money from her mom when she died. Another owner had some investments that they wanted to buy, and they hooed up their money together to purchase this property. And they've been looking on this side of the island, and this one came up for them. But they are very well aware of that. They brought it up at the housing meeting.
Thank you. Anybody in person? One more time. No, you get Mr. Salcido? Come to the mic, Uncle.
The concept of this, is this a group living facility with no blood relations family involved with this? All blood related?
So from what I understand, the Changs are related to the Ewens, okay, and that's the nephew to Allie. And then their cousins, all the rest of them are related. They are not unrelated. They are family. And they have been together for a long time down this side. They're not outsiders. They're born and raised here in Hawaii. And life got in the way and they finally had an opportunity to purchase this property. But to answer your question, they are not unrelated. They are all related.
That's the reason for the SMA rather than one conditional use permit, basically. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. An SMA permit major is because it's in the shoreline or called the special management, area where they're at. Right. And if you take a look in your TMK maps, okay, your own property, if you go online and your property, it'll show whether or not you're in the SMA or not. It'll show whether or not what your flood zones are. That's the area that we're looking at in there. And so they're in the SMA. It's been a long journey for them as they shared because I'm the second contractor that came by to help them. The first contractor pretty much left them 4 years ago. And so they met me last year and we started working together. But to answer your question, yeah, conditional use permit, very different from an SMA major where public hearing is involved. SMA minor, only the DPP director is involved to review the records, similar to what you have here. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else in person? Go ahead.
Wanted to add that the only Dana Newman, board member. The only reason they're needing the SMA is because of the price.
Well, it's because over $500,000. SMA major, over $500,000. SMA minor, under $500,000. Yeah.
And so because they didn't get to complete 2 years ago or 5 years ago, the price has gone up 250.
Right, and that is why we came out of the minor that was first filed but not complete, was incomplete. And because of that, the valuation of the construction now went up to over $750,000. Thank you for that point, Dana. Appreciate it.
Just in transparency, that's what was shared with us at the
Yes.
housing meeting.
Thank you.
Perfect. Nobody else online or in person? Thank you so much, Auntie, for your thorough information. Even what you emailed it was on point. Very thorough. Thank you so much.
Thank you, board.
Okay, next one is Neighborhood Commission, Patrick Smith, chair, and then Larry Veray is vice chair. So Larry, are you online?
Yes, good evening.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, good evening and aloha to the Wai'anae Neighborhood Board and all the residents and officials that are there today. And Chair Saviana and Vice Chair Newman and Vice Chair Crabb and board members. It's really an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to attend your meeting today. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there in person. I know it's a long drag from Pearl City to get there, especially today with the traffic and the rain that was there. And of course, I talked to your chair there this afternoon prior to the meeting, and we decided I'd just be online. But I would like to make some really good comments, you guys. My hat's off to all of you. Probably the most challenging board out of all the 33 neighbor boards is Wai'anae. You guys have some of the toughest issues that you have to work. And especially when you want to keep the character of Wai'anae, you know, the challenges with developers moving in, you know, with the traffic, and of course, things being put in your backyard that you don't want. And of course, I do watch your meetings periodically. My background, I've been on the Pearl City Neighborhood Board for the last 20 years. I've been the chair for the last 10. And of course, I've had privilege also working with Richard over transportation issues. And I remember when if I go back 18 years ago, we had some great ideas that we thought would move forward, but unfortunately the rail killed it. And we're where we're at today. But I'm representing the city council as their representative to the neighborhood commission. I've been on there 1 year. Chair Patrick Smith, as an outstanding individual. He's got a lawyer background. Since him and I have been working together, it's kind of like new blood coming into the commission. We're really taking things very seriously. We're there to back every one of you up, and particularly the chairs, and make sure that we've got order and decorum and the respect that needs to be in every neighborhood board. That's one of the things I'd like to leave with you. You know, sometimes residents get very passionate, sometimes board members as well. We cannot tolerate any disrespect and any profane language in our meetings. We must act professionally and as adults and try to work these issues. But the chair is the orchestrator. And that's one of the things I got to say is, you know, you got a good cohesive board when the chair and the vice chairs work very close together, because they're the ones prepping for this meeting, getting everything's in order. And even during the meeting, it's just like a concert, trying to orchestrate all the presenters and speakers. Sometimes board members talk a little bit too much. They like to give a background before they state the question. You really got to think about that. Support your chair, watch, help her with time management. And let's see. As I said, trying to keep the character of your community is so important. And remember, you're there for the community and the residents. You're there to help facilitate. And the nice thing is, in the position that you're in, you've got access all the way up the entire chain in government. You know, working with your city council, working with the state legislature, working with law enforcement and fire. You got a lot of power in the position that you're sitting. So the respect is there, and it needs to go both ways. And definitely, you got to keep that bond with your legislators and lawmakers. And I got to tell you, you have some very strong and dedicated lawmakers. And you know that with your city council rep, with Angela Topola, she has always been there. And I see her on TV, saw the things that she's done. And of course, you got with the new blood that came in with Senator DeCourt. You see that she's been there supporting you, and also a Representative Keela. We see that in Central Oahu. So you have that strength there. The thing is just getting these processes in, and you guys, when the community comes in and they're talking about their problems, it's you helping form those requirements. One of the things I'd like to highly recommend to you, take an evaluation of all the things that you're working. I have a very strong vice chair. She spent many years with the city, and actually she was in OIP for a while. We've got a list of legislative priorities. We got them all broke out by federal, by state, and by city. And we go through it, and we hold all our legislators accountable, but we let them choose what they're going to work for the next legislative session. We try to push them on a couple things, but they take their pick, and as long as they're moving forward, working our requirements one by one, that works out real well. But again, listening to your community, because the most important thing coming in when things start off is the public concerns. When the community stands up and addresses the chair and the board, stating the problems that they see, the help that they need, the chair is making a list of that. You know, it's not rubber stamping. I mean, I've seen things happen in the past with other leadership on boards where, okay, next. No, it's one of these things where the chair says noted, and then looks down and looks at the transportation chair. I said, did you hear that about that crosswalk that's needed in that particular area? And the chair tasked those out to the committees. And the committees, you know, everybody has, the way I've done things in the past is I let the board help me fill in. Instead of me appointing somebody that's something that they don't want to do, I like to figure out the expertise that I do have on the board with the different professionals and let them try to fill in the gaps for me. But as you go through legislative priorities and development, health and safety, education, recognition, all the things. You guys got all the things punched, but I got to commend you. Some boards, they have 23 people to do this on their committees. You have 9. And that 9 really, in my opinion, should be 11. Because I think you need a few more with with all the things you guys take on. So when the chair tasks you guys as for committees, okay, some things are easy. You really don't need to have meetings for it, but you're the committee chair, and when the chair says, okay, you just heard, you know, we'll task you and say, okay, you heard that we need a speed hump in this particular area. Need you to research it. And depending on the type of issue, sometimes when it's a really contentious issue, like for example, you get a halfway house set up right in the middle of a neighborhood, that's going to bring in a lot of residents that may be really concerned. Those are the ones where you need special meetings, committee meetings. And when you're a committee chair, when you do hold a meeting, it's just like having a board meeting. You are required to have an agenda posted. You're also required to hold minutes and keep track of everything that you do, and then present your findings to the board officially. So it is a lot of work. You know, a lot of people don't have the experience. You don't have an NCO rep taking your minutes. I remember when I first started off, I had my tape recorder with me, and I really respected the NCO taking the minutes because to being able to take care of all that stuff. But the most important thing though is to keep your keeping your board cohesive. to have the chair and the vice chairs lockstep. There's no infighting between them. Granted, there might be some disagreement on orders, agendas, and things you want to work, but the chair and vice chair got to be in sync. And as you go along, you're hitting those requirements one by one. You're getting them to your legislators, and once you put it in their hands, let them work it. So, and that's where you need that orchestration and everybody to be in sync. Next I want to talk about was let's see here. I talked about tasking. The other thing I want to talk about was let's see. Oh, I want to get back to during public concerns. One thing I almost missed: public concerns. You're there to listen, and as the public talks about the problems that they have, the chair's, like it says, keeping notes. But you're not supposed to ask questions during that period. Those items are not most likely not on the agenda. But there is an exception. If, for example, let's say somebody said we've got a problem with a crosswalk at a certain street, okay, and the chair is taking notes and wants to work that. You can ask the chair, can I get a clarification exactly where is that location or the location we need to crosswalk? The chair can allow you to ask that question. But if there's an issue that was brought up that's on the agenda already in your board business, you need to hold off your questions until you get to the board business area to go back over those areas again. Okay. Those who, if you don't know it, I'm also the chair for the neighborhood plan committee. I'm in the process right now of rewriting policy with our commission. We do have opportunities for board members and chairs to come in and start off, give us your concerns. I've got an open ear. Anytime that you see something screwed up in the neighborhood plan that you'd like to see change, your pet peeve, just get that to me in the commission. We'll take a look at it. You can actually present it if you want. We've got a few people that are there every week and with a number of inputs. And I'm always looking for ways to improve our processes as we go along. The Community Complaints Commission, we must have spent 4 months on that. You know, it used to take days and days to be able to go through a complaint process. Yep, that's my own timer. That's my 10 minutes. But in summary, the neighborhood commission right now with the neighborhood plan, we're trying to finish this thing up by fall, and we're working our way through it. And one of the things I want you to think about, if there's any boundary changes that you need to work out with the adjacent neighborhood board. I've got a couple of boards, Manoa, and I think it was there were some residents in Waipahu that was some changes. But keep in mind, those border lines that we have right now, that actually is reflective with the election process. So when the NCO does their mailouts, it's reflective in those areas. And then lastly, I want to talk about is you just recognized one of your board members and also your NCO rep. That is so healthy to show recognition. When you have your high school achievers, you have police officers, things like that. Please think of that because that's really healthy for the community for you to make the recognition at your level in those board meetings. So other than that, my hat's off to Jeff Jones, and also I've watched Calvin Eno for years in the board meetings because I channel hop a lot. I watch a lot of the board meetings they go along. But Chair Smith and I, we welcome you. When you got issue, you want to talk one-on-one about any issue or whatever, we ask you to go through the NCO first. But if you want, our door is always open. And Chair, we got your back. Board members, we're there too. But thank you so much for giving me a chance to at least talk to you and let you know that we have a bright future ahead and you guys are doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have a question. Go ahead.
Hi, Larry. This is Joe Jordan.
Yeah, Joe, and I've been watching you for years too, and thank you for all
Yes,
the
sir.
dedication you
Probably
do.
about 15 years on and off this board.
Walking in your office.
So question I have for you is the same question I asked the mayor 4 years ago, and it's the same question I've asked Lloyd since he became the commission chair. When are we going to provide training for new board members and continue training for long-standing board members, sir? Since now you're on the commission?
That's right, and you're not the only one to bring that forward. That is with the NCO right now. They are trying to put together a training program. there is one thing that that Lloyd is doing once a month, the first Monday of the month. Usually, he's got it open with a on WebEx for board members to come in and ask questions, and also he usually presents various items. But training is so important because understanding how to act as a board member, and of course, even for chair training, because sometimes what do you do when you have a situation that starts to get out of control? How do you gain that control? You cannot let your board get out of control. And of course, I'm going to tell you right now with the Chair Smith and I, any board member that has any type of insubordination or disrespect, you can count on it that we're going to be meeting with you soon. Because in our complaint process, we've also talked about, instead of having all these complaints come in and taking time, is we want to do some mediation. So if there's a problem, let's say there's a problem between the chair and the vice chair, and the chair says, I need help. We could come and sit between the two and talk, and let's hash it out and figure out what we could do. But Joe, I'll bring that back from today at our next meeting. And again, let Lloyd know that you guys still need that training, and I believe you do too. There should be some type of, a 1 day, 2 day indoctrination. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I have another board member with a question.
Yes, please.
Aloha no e lale o vau o Nani Peterson. Ai he ni nau ka u e pili ana I ka o lalo Hawaii o iai o ka lalo Hawaii o ia ka mea ka o la e ia aina nei. No laila ko u mana o malalo o kila a o ana I ho'opuka ai o Jordan. Pene kako e imi ke kahi kokua I ka olelo Hawaii no ke ia aina nei. Ina a ohe pono ke kahi kokua. No leila ke olelo nei vau ia oi a me ka nu se o e pili ana I ka ho'o mau ana ke kako ana ke kokua ana I kukulu I ke kahi I loa ai ke kahi olelo kokua. Ma'anei, a laila ka ai ana I kakou ke ia hui aha no ko Wai'anae e a'o I ka olelo Hawaii ke kahi o iai e like me ka'u o ia ka olelo mua o ke ia aina nei. Mahalo.
Well, I apologize that I did not understand all of that, and I think what it is Larry Veray needs to go through Hawaiian language training so I can understand it. As long as I've lived in Hawaii, I'm trying my best. But in short term, what was the point that you wanted to bring up?
That was exactly the point. That I'm asking that because this is an official language of our state, that it should be prevalent in our spaces, especially in Wai'anae, being that we are the highest population of Native Hawaiians here. And so my request is I'm trying to feed two birds with one hand, yeah, because and speak with NCO as well as yourself to see how we can move forward in obtaining some kokua interpreters ho'i of Olelo Hawaii in this space. And also on top of that, and include that with the training that Jordan is speaking about. And that as well, that we as the board members in Wai'anae are that kukulu somehow comes in play where we're trained as well. In Olelo Hawaii, funded by the city and county. Thank you.
So Larry, on our agenda, just FYI, under adjournment, if you look at the second section, it says, if you need an auxiliary aid service or other accommodations due to a disability or an interpreter for language other than English, please call the NCO there's a number between 8 and 4, or send an email at least 3 business days before on it may not be possible to fulfill requests received after this date. However, there is an option there, so I highly suggest email so it's documented, yeah, that we actually, made contact. Yeah.
Mahalo, mahalo.
Absolutely, and that's a very important priority. I need to make sure that's on my Pearl City agenda as well.
Yeah, because documentation beats conversation. So without documentation, you know, people going to say it never happened. So yeah, if you can email.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else get questions? Nope. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate your time. Awesome.
All right.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you
much.
very much, everybody. And if there's anybody that appreciates the Hawaiians and has the most respect, it's me. Because God help you, if I was ever king for a day, what I'd do for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now we're going on to item 7.3.1 vision, Oahu Pentathlon, community input on the 6th annual event, which will take place on August 8th and 9th, 2026. Go ahead. Sorry, you're on mute. Can you unmute, please? We still can't hear you. Okay, we'll wait for you to dial in. Sorry, guys, she's having audio problems, so she's going to dial in with the phone.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, sorry about that. Aloha board, my name is Sarah Mayo and I'm the race director of Oahu Pentathlon. I apologize I couldn't be there in person. I'm sick, you can probably hear it. So I figured this would be the best way to join. I do want to voice appreciation to this board. As an organization, we do end up actually participating in a lot of these meetings, and this one has genuinely been one of the better run meetings, and so I thank you guys for that. That said, I'll get to our presentation. The request that we're making of the board is essentially the same as it's been for the last 5 years. So I want to just present what that is again, and then address any questions of the community or the board. The big picture of this event is that it is a fundraiser for Point One Vision, which is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit organization. We organize faith-based or fitness-based events and efforts as an avenue for community building. The Oahu Pentathlon, the event as a whole, is a 135-mile adventure-style race to circumnavigate the island by swim, run, paddle, sandbag carry, and bike, starting and ending in Kailua. So the portion of this event that overlaps with the Wai'anae neighborhood is the transition between the end of the sandbag carry and then the final bike section, which exchanges at Keawe Beach Park. Athletes will be coming off of the trail around Kaina Point carrying the sandbags and then traveling south on Farrington Highway, then proceeding to the beach park where they will transition onto the bikes, again continuing southbound on Farrington to exit the Wai'anae zone. All in all, we're expecting about 150 athletes. That said, since these are mostly broken up into teams, that actually works out to about 40 to 50 individuals, or what we quantify as units, coming through in total, which is about the same as it's been the last several years. These athletes will end up, so that 40 or 50 will end up being fairly spread out over the course of about 3 p.m. to as late as midnight on Saturday, August 8th. For the reason of these being pretty widespread, the Department of Transportation Services recommends that we do not impede the flow of traffic or cone it off in any way. And then per recommendations and requirements of the Parks Department, we do move the checkpoint from inside to outside of the park, adjacent to Farrington Highway there, so as not to be in the park after closing hours if we still have athletes on the course after 10 p.m. It might also be worth mentioning here that nothing gets staged at this location. The sandbags are immediately loaded up, and then teams or athlete support are expected to unload and prepare their bikes only at the time of the exchange. We currently have permit applications submitted with city and county parks and recreation department, as well as the Department of Transportation Services and DLNR state parks for Kaina Point.
Okay, anyone in person, questions, community? Go community first.
Hello, Pikachu Shelby. Did you say August 8th? Is that the same as the primary election day? I just want to verify.
It is August 8th. I'm not sure about the primary election day, so you may be right.
Isn't that That, I'm pretty sure it's primary election day
Yep.
because we have candidates in
Yes.
the room. And if you're telling me from 3 p.m. to 12 midnight, are you gonna block the road traffic?
No,
Just
we only have about 40 to 50 athletes in total over the course of about, what are we looking at? Potentially 10 hours. Most likely, you won't even notice anything is going on. We leave a pretty small footprint, and we don't cone anything off.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm.
Oh, this is, hello. This is the same topic I had brought up earlier to HPD, about the stray dogs that's in the area. They'll be unsafe for your function that's gonna happen. So I hopefully, you folks will work with HPD earlier to control all the stray dogs that's in the area that's brought in from encampments as well. If the agricultural landowners is having problems with stray dogs, so they're unleashed, and there'll be a problem for your bikers and so on for your activities. So I'll consider that and bring it up to HPD, bring up
Okay.
this concern.
That's
It's a safety.
helpful. I missed have that part of the meeting earlier. Is there a particular section that they tend to be the worst?
It's KL area,
Okay.
somewhere.
We're gonna bring up the map right now, because I see it in my email, so we'll pull it up. You know, you sent it to me at 4:08 p.m. and I was already on the road. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
I
pull up the
apologize
map
for
so it
being so
makes it
quickly.
easier for everyone. No, it's okay. Just so that people have a visual and they understand where it's starting, ending, and what's going on. I'll take a recess for a few minutes.
Okay.
Neighborhood board meeting is back in session for Wai'anae Neighborhood Board 24. Okay, so we have the map up. Is this the map that show?
There's 3 different ones. So this is showing the totality of the carry course. So a lot of this obviously is within your guys' zone, but we come from the north side of Kayana Point. So this is kind of oriented funny. But we come around Kayana Point, down the trail on your guys' side, then onto Farrington Highway. And then on the very far right there where you can see the flag, that's KL Beach Park. Then I have another slide that I sent to you, another map that shows what the checkpoint will actually look like. It's kind of like a satellite photo.
Okay. Flip to the next one so that everybody can see before we start asking questions, so you have a better understanding of what the route looks like.
Yeah, so it's the one that was labeled checkpoint number 6. Not that one. Well, I guess I can speak to this one. So again, over on the left side, that's KL Beach Park. This is the remainder of the bike course. Again, obviously most of that not within your guys' zone, but that's the totality of the bike course. And then the last slide I gave you probably would be the most relevant to this board or concerns of the neighborhood in terms of how we are stationed at KL.
Okay, and then we'll pull up the third map. Oh, okay. So can you pull the first map up? Just because it pertains to our area, the other one.
If I'm able to have share permissions, it looks like I could share from my computer as well. If that
Go
makes it
ahead,
easy.
share, please.
Okay. Go, continue. Share screen. Okay. Are you guys able to see here? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So, yep, this is at KL Beach Park. So prior to the closure of the park at 10 p.m., we typically set up right around here, near the park entry. we'll have one small flag set up, and then if we still have athletes on the course at 10 p.m., sometimes they do go later into the evening, then we shift into this zone, which again has been what we've done the last few years per recommendations or requirements of Department of Transportation Services.
Okay, thank you. So community members first, in person, come to the microphone, state your name and your question.
Aloha, I'm Kalihua Kaupua. I think I just had a question regarding the Opala. A lot of times when athletes come through, they're flying water bottles, sponges, anything like that. Do you have a procedure in place or a cleanup crew that's going to be following your athletes and cleaning up after them?
We don't necessarily have a specialized crew for it, but we have volunteer teams out there that are responsible for cleanup, especially around the park. And then, of course, we encourage them as they either trek. We have trail guides out on the trail, like out at the end of Kaina Point, that do follow the last athletes coming out. That again will pick things up. That's part of their duties. Generally, we really do try to just emphasize the importance of aloha culture with our athletes and hopefully not end up with so much of that, but we do have that in place.
Okay, mahalo.
Thank you.
Anyone else in person? Okay, board, go ahead. Start with Miley.
Aloha, sorry. Aloha, my name is Miley DeSoto. I have a quick question. When you guys are coming through Kaena Point and you guys are coming into Keawaula, are you guys aware that Keawaula is closed at this moment?
I am not. What is it closed for?
Kona Lowe's, if you go down from Waikomos or Keao and you head towards Keawaula, you're lucky if you have half a lane heading down that way. So another question would be, how are you guys going to provide safety for your athletes should they get hurt?
So, sorry, I'm looking at the map. So this is obviously north of Keao. So are you talking about on Farrington Highway is reduced to less than a lane?
Correct. So if you go down from Keao's, if you're there, the road is blocked off. No traffic is allowed to go in or out unless you're a first responder. And it's closed all the way through to Keawaula, and the gate is closed there as well.
That is good to know. So your question, okay, so this is definitely something that I will need to be looking into because I was not aware of that. Do you guys happen to know when it may be opening? And then typically to get to the heart of your question about safety, again, we have trail guides out on the trail that are first aid certified. We make sure certain of that. Again, they're at multiple points on the trail and then they follow the last athletes out.
Okay, with that being said, I'm a lifeguard, open water lifeguard. If they are first responders or if they're CPR certified, whatever not, how are you guys planning on still getting them out if they need to get out?
Of the trail.
So just know that that road from the Kona Low, that road caved into pretty much the ocean. So there's not much of the road. And so you may want to talk to whoever you guys got your permitting from because no one can go through there. So I'm not sure how your athletes would get through that path because it's closed.
Are you talking
So
about, are you
just
referring to
giving
the
a heads up.
washout on the Jeep trail out at the very end or actually on the
No,
paved portion?
no, we're talking about Kea'au Beach and they call it Waikomos. So right after Kea'au Beach, there's Waikomos. The road is washed out into the ocean. The road collapsed.
Okay. This is
So the
definitely
whole
something we'll
east
need to
lane
look
is
into.
gone. Yeah,
Okay.
and they blocking it with those blockades and there's is there still HPD now? Yeah, still HPD. So only first responders can go through there and people that work for the federal government with their IDs.
Got it. We absolutely will need to look into this. So I really appreciate you guys bringing this to our attention, and I will handle that with Department of Transportation Services and make sure that we have a plan for that.
Okay, and then we have members that want to ask more questions.
Yeah.
Statement as well too. This east lane that's washed out, eastbound lane is, the direction is before KL Homestead Road. Before KL Homestead Road as they headed northwest on Farrington Highway. Okay, so the whole eastbound lane is kind of protruding to the east, the northwest bound lane as well too. The road is gone, zero. Farrington Highway has been compromised because of the Kona low weather.
Out of curiosity, what are the residents doing to get through there then? Or is it just residents plus first
No,
responders?
there's only one lane in and out. It's only the westbound lane that they're taking chances in and out. The Department of Transportation, State Department of Transportation, they don't know when they're gonna do that because they're gonna have to take inland road, access to make another road. They're not gonna chance that because of the shoreline breaks.
Okay.
They took the whole road away. There's no road, zero. on Fairfield
Okay.
Highway.
This is really helpful. We absolutely need to problem solve this. Sorry, just to clarify one more time, Waikomo is where the washout is, correct?
Proximity of, you look for the geography on this, KL Homestead Road.
Okay.
It's before that. The Lady of KL's is on KL Homestead Road. You
Okay.
See that? It's just before that.
Okay. All right. We will look into this. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have more community members. Mike, state your name.
Can I see the map again? I'm just curious because I saw two different maps. One at Hill and the several going. So I'm just wondering if they coming out, they setting up the Hill, coming out, or going, setting up, going in, and then going into Waikomo, Kelveula.
Yeah, it's intent. Sorry.
Where's your
It's intended
starting
to be
point?
a transition point. So the carry comes around the, oops, let me turn my video back on, sorry. It's intended to be an exchange point, so the athletes come around the corner of kind of point with the sandbag carry, and then Beach Park ends up being the transition point where they then get onto their bikes and continue on.
Very tiny. And I'm only saying it because I am a organization that does relief for the unsheltered there. So it's gonna be a very big problematic.
Yeah, this.
You're gonna need to go and follow out with these people that is gonna try to give you this permit.
Okay, yeah, we need to really figure this one out. I really appreciate you guys bringing this to our attention because we did not hear from DTS.
Okay, go ahead, Rep. Moroka.
You know, your permit application, when do you plan on submitting?
We already submitted.
You guys already submitted?
Yeah, months ago.
You guys provided, because my office didn't get any of this, and I'm gonna be very upfront when I let you know that. I'm not gonna support this for the simple fact that it's unsafe, number one. And we're not gonna support one outside entity coming in, using the bay that's shut down to the local people who cannot use them. So for you guys to wanna use it on a special permit, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, I'm gonna fight very hard to prevent this. Unless you guys do this during the open times when the people can be there. And we're not gonna get any special provisions for you guys block traffic. We're already fighting that right now. It's a one-way in, one-way out, simple yield sign. It's a common courtesy way to pass that washout over down Farrington by Waikomo's. Furthermore, first and second dips in Kelveula is also compromised because of the Kona lows. That's why it's shut down. The other thing is, you need to do your due diligence and go out there and look. You cannot rely on us for give you the information you need because the hiking trails are also shut down because of dangerous situations because of the Kona lows. So sis, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I'm gonna let you know, you guys never do enough investigation. This thing not gonna happen. I'm gonna let you know right now, this thing not gonna happen. My office is open 5 days a week. I'll give you my number if you want. You need help reaching out, please do. But I'm gonna call Mr. Sniffen first thing tomorrow. I'm gonna call Mr. Kanakaole also. These are the two people you're gonna need to sign off on your permit. I'm gonna let them know the displeasure that we didn't know about this. The last thing we heard about any of this was a bicycle race.
that turning around by K House. This is much different than a bicycle race that's gonna have to come through Keawaula around the way of Kayana Point, which means so many things haven't been looked into. So
Can I, sorry,
consider
sir,
that.
I fully appreciate the concerns of the board, and this obviously is huge news to myself as well. Can I get your name and who you're with and your number or email or something I can contact
No,
you?
no problem. My name is Representative Muraoka, State Representative Christopher Muraoka. And if you need my number, call me on my personal cell, 808-690-0882. But you need to understand the situation we're currently facing with that whole area.
Yeah.
Okay, we get people who want to use the beach on a daily basis, people who grew up out here who like use the beach. So for you guys to want to come and just for your leisure and your fun, it's not something that's not going to fly.
I do want to point out that we're not intending to do anything that is disruptive to the community. We ultimately want to do this as
Well,
providing.
here's the concern. Here's the concern. I've only been here for a few short minutes. And I hear you haven't done any due diligence because the fact that you don't know all of these dangers exist, you don't know the current situations of the area, tells me you didn't do enough due diligence.
What
And
we've
I'm
been-
sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just very direct. And when I hear this, I'm going to let you know. You need help, you want to go out there, I'll set something up with Mr. Kanakaole and show you just how unsafe it is. It shouldn't happen. If you guys are a professional organization and you understand the dangers that currently facing, you guys shouldn't even be pushing for it right now, honestly.
The due diligence of our process has been to go through the permit process, and part of that permit process is to come to the neighborhood boards and to hear concerns like this. And so I do understand that this is this is getting rather close to the time. That makes me obviously uncomfortable as well. And so I appreciate you guys bringing this up, but please have it heard that we're not just trying to come stamp around town either, but we do have to look at the whole island. I don't live on the west side, but that's why we join these meetings, is to make sure that we hear the concerns and what the local things are that frankly, I haven't come out to the west side. I'm not intimately aware with what is going on there, but that's why we come to the meetings.
Consider Kahana Bay, it's very beautiful. Stop coming to the west side. You guys don't live here. Stop trying to trample on us.
Not trying to do that, sir.
We have a couple people online. If we can have them go ahead. I have, where? Kaukaohu.
Thanks, Chair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, my concern too was with the road. So when you pass Cal Beach Park and Waikomo, because of the Konolos, right? Like everybody was saying, there's only one lane going in. And yes, it's supposed to be shut down to traffic, but I just went through there a couple of days ago, and and so I guess HPD is letting people go through because we went like a couple times already within the last couple of weeks. But it will be a concern, especially on the one lane opening, with local traffic going and your athletes traversing there too. So it's like an accident waiting to happen. So that was my concern. Mahalo.
Yeah,
Thank
these
you,
are, I
Kaukaohu.
really hear all of you. These are super valid concerns. I am now also concerned. So we will make sure to do our research and figure out what alternative there is, if we can still run the event, come back to you guys.
Okay, we have one more and it's a board member. Go ahead, board member.
So the concern that I have, this is Dana Newman on the board. The concern is you're going to enter into a very sacred area. And at what specific time are you going to be moving into the space of Haena?
To Kayana Point.
Do you know what Haena is or what it holds?
I am aware that it is a preserve. We do stay outside of
Beyond
the
a preserve. I would suggest that you really do diligence and look at the cultural significance and the spirituality of the space before you attempt to carry sandbags through a space that Kanaka Maoli hold deep reverence to.
Mhm.
Okay,
I-
so, we gave you our concerns. We are running over time. I just want you to be aware of the concerns and then please get with our House Rep, Mr. Muraoka, because, we need to move on. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, now we're gonna go on to community concerns. 2 minutes. Just be mindful, state your name, get to your question, get to the point. We don't need long story because we have plenty to cover. So thank you. Go ahead.
Aloha folks, Pikachu, Shelby Bill, and I'll make it nice and quick, no many questions, because we have Honolulu City Council tomorrow. The budget bill 22 and 23, one is 4.8 billion, the other one's 1.166, so that's 5.9, technically it's $6 billion. I've always vetoed no, and I said no, a solo person there, I said 24 testimonies already on Sunday. I will be there again tomorrow to tell them no, because Rick Longiardi, our mayor, was not there last month. He was in Kung Fu Panda Land negotiating with the CCP. Negotiate, it's $1 million a panda, and Kung Fu Panda cannot be solo, they come in pairs, it's a 10-year contract. So you buy two, it's gonna be $2 million times 10 years, that's 20 million, buy four, that's gonna be $40 million. Now Rick is back, you see in the Hawaii News now, he might veto the bill tomorrow for the budget because the city council members taking the money for the pay raises coming out of our taxes. They're trying to change all the money, there's a couple $1 billion they're gonna add on to the rail. I still oppose no. So it's very sad when I'm the only guy saying no, but what's worse is when I look at the city council members, I don't want to say their names because of decorum, but they always have to say yes because they won't get their bills passed. And so that's why they go through this whole thing. You can see it on the news, Tanya Waters, Val Okimoto, the budget. They don't care how we feel, even though we say no. So I hope Rick Laundrie vetoes their budget bill to teach them a lesson, hit them where the wallet hurts, so we can start moving forward. Now, my next time with my 30 seconds left is the new chief of police. I did not trust that guy because he looked like a Draco reptilian Illuminati guy next to me when I was during the last commission. He had fancier shoes than me and a fancy CIA watch. So I will be at the police commissioners meeting again because I'm #1 testifier there who dropped the Epstein files. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. We're at war still with the United States. And I'm concerned for what we're going to do, protect our own Kuleana, our own community, because we are rallying up after the floods, after the storms. It's going to be us. So Chihu, yeah, you. I'll see you guys. Time's up. Yeah, aloha.
Thank you. Anybody in person wants to come to the mic, community concerns?
In the new, we have a case against Cully Watson and the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. That's something for all of us to be concerned about. But perhaps it's time to redirect the federal Congress people as to why we're really not America in the first place. So we can thank them for bringing us to this point and not just be fearful of it. But there is a lot at stake. So we need to, maka all of that. The other thing is there was a fire truck, fire rescue helicopter up in Wai'anae Valley for several hours this afternoon. I couldn't tell what they were doing, if they're looking for somebody or not, because it looks like they're on the west side of Wai'anae Valley, Homestead, and then they're on the Uka side, Ka'ala, and then they're on Pahe'ehe'e Ridge. So, when I finally called to find out, what are they doing? Is somebody lost? Or is there a criminal around? Is there something that we should be concerned about? But what concerns me is that the 911 dispatch, the police didn't have any knowledge about this helicopter. So it's important that our emergency services, that they communicate with each other so that if there was somebody abound that we wouldn't want, that we are aware of it as well. And I understand that it's always important to take the action and then worry about the communication. But there's enough people around and hopefully not too much death or criminal activity that's occurring that they can have this clear communication in a timely manner. I think that's it. Mahalo.
So just want to give you guys heads up. There's an email that I included you that's military. They're doing exercises for like throughout June. So you can read the email and it has the time of day when they're gonna do their thing.
So that was a military aircraft?
I don't know exactly, but I know it started June 1st. So the month of June, they're doing exercises. And I shared that email. It wasn't. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else in person wants to come to the mic? I have, okay, go ahead.
The HHL is gonna have a geothermal meeting next week, Friday, June 12th.
Yep.
I think it's.
No, and next
Well,
week too is
The
DHL.
postcard said the 12th. So, I think it's from 6 to 8 or 5 to 7 at Alipono
6 to 8.
DHHL. Now, the crazy thing is this is happening in our community. So why do we have to go to Kapolei for us, the community, to be informed and engaged? So I think this needs to come out. So what the community is doing through Kingdom Pathways, Mahalo Nui, is they are having a meeting this Friday in this room, starting at 5 o'clock. And it will be very informal as well as informational. And it can also prepare us as to what we want to know and why don't they know. Mahalo.
Thank you. We have one online, Johnny May. Johnny May, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say, I've been involved with the neighborhood board since 2003. Recently, I've been attending 7+ board meetings a month via Zoom. And I find that personally educational. And on this board, I have 6 board members that represent me at large and the Wai'anae. I find it very beneficial to sign up for the city agendas. That also will help you understand the process. It would also make you aware of what's happening in our community. You know, you're not just volunteers, you're not just advisory board. You are more than that, and you can be more than that. If you, I know everybody's busy, but I find it very beneficial to log into all these meetings island-wide. And if you can't do that, there is the video which you can watch. And it is advantageous for all of you to see how other boards are conducted and how much involvement they do because they care for their community. It's not because they're Hawaii Kai or Kailua. We can be the same. This is our investment. This community is our investment. It doesn't take money. It just takes your willingness and investment in this community. So I find it very beneficial for me. And like Mr. Varay said, he gave a lot of kudos to being on the board. And if you decide to run for the board or upper government, this is like training. It's training for the next level if you so desire. It's very educational and it's free. Thank you, board.
Thank you, Johnny May. I don't have no one online, so I'm gonna go in person one more time. Hanako. Anybody in person would like to come to the microphone? Okay, board? No. Okay, we're gonna move on to elected officials and state department reports. So Mayor Blangiardi's representative, Donna Puna.
Hello. I have a lot of answers from questions last time, but I'll try to go through them quickly. First of all, Farrington Highway, update on the status of the eastbound lane closure on Farrington near KL due to storm damage. Farrington Highway near KL is under state DOT. Please contact HDOT at 808-587-2150. Next up, KL Beach Park cleanup request and park responsibilities. KL Beach Park, significant steps are already being taken to clean up the park. DPR has assigned 2 dedicated groundskeepers who are on site daily, and we are actively filling vacancies and reallocating staff to ensure consistent and maintenance at our larger parks, including KL. These actions reflect a sustained commitment to improving conditions at the park and addressing concerns about cleanliness and upkeep. City maintenance of parks, DPR is actively maintaining its parks every day, and the safety and upkeep of our facilities remain a priority. City spending, panda bears. Why is the city considering leasing panda bears at $1 million per year when it could possibly be used towards fixing parks, roads, and sidewalks? In celebration of and commemoration of the city's sisters relationship, Mayor Blangiardi traveled to China in April to focus on economic diversification, strengthening global partnerships, and advancing key initiatives. As part of the trip, the city participated in international conservation efforts by hosting giant pandas at the Honolulu Zoo. Hosting giant pandas could increase revenue and attendance and improve visitor experience at the zoo. Next is waste management technology alternatives. Why is the city continuing to invest in landfill expansion using what some consider outdated technology? The city recognizes that landfills alone are not a long-term solution, which is why our integrated solid waste management system already incorporates multiple modern strategies, including source reduction, recycling, green waste diversion, and composting, food waste diversion, and waste to energy through the H-Power facility. And then, let's see. Vaping shops. Can city require vaping shops and city departments undertaking local projects to come to the neighborhood board? Under the land use ordinance, ROH chapter 21, vape shops are considered general retail uses. General retail are only allowed in certain zoning districts, but where they are allowed, they are permitted principal uses. This means the use does not require discretionary review from DPP, and there's no prerequisite to present to the neighborhood board before establishing the use. There's a question about DHHL permitting. Can we be notified when DHHL will launch its own permitting process? The city is interested in knowing when this will happen too, but we recommend reaching out directly to DHHL regarding this matter. Flood prevention. What is the city doing about infrastructure to prevent flooding? Department of Design and Construction currently is working on the Puhawai Road Culvert Drainage Improvements Project. The scope of work includes reconstructing a section of the road at Ma'ili'ili Stream crossing to remove 3 36-inch reinforced concrete pipes and replace with larger culverts. The project is tentatively scheduled to advertise for bids in 2028, pending funding availability. Design and construction also is working on the Ulehava U1 and U2 flood control improvement projects. The scope of work includes stabilizing the eroded stream banks and channel walls. The project is tentatively scheduled for bid in 2030. Mayor's Town Hall, can the mayor come out to Wai'anae? Mayor and members of his administration will continue to go to communities when there's a significant specific issue that needs attention. The decision on town halls this year was based on the whole of government response to severe weather, and that continues to be our focus, especially as it pertains to funding and FEMA assistance. Let's see. Virtual meetings during the Konolo, the neighborhood board meeting was canceled. Can they cancel just in person but continue on Zoom? According to neighborhood Neighborhood Commission Office, public board meetings cannot be virtual only due to the requirements of the state Sunshine Law. Sunshine Law requires public meetings have in-person facilities for physical attendance. However, virtual components are optional. I think that's pretty much it, but I'm here to take any questions. Thank you.
In person, anyone has questions, come to the microphone, state your name. We have someone coming up.
Don Kapoor again did respond to my question regarding permits. So in the past, when DHHL needed permits from DPP, are they a separate category, a separate itemized count? Or is it just part of the total numbers? Because if they were part of I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's part of the overall.
So there's nowhere in your system or in your reporting, your current existing reporting, that allows for it to be from this particular developer, that developer, this agency, or that agency?
Oh,
They're
we
all
could,
just one sum?
well, we could, if we needed to, or if we were requested to, we could filter out by applicant. So if DHHL is the applicant for permit, or maybe even if it's on lands, DHHL lands, we could pull and have that listing of permits.
Okay, so you're saying that you folks do not have any separate reporting at all?
Not, well, we can pull that information. If you wanted just DHHL permits, we could pull that.
Okay, so you have the data, you have the capability, but there's never been a need to isolate any of the permitting?
No, but
customers?
yeah, we haven't been, I don't think we may have been asked for that information. And if it were an ask now, we could provide a list of, if you wanted like pending permits, or, historically, or a certain, certain time period, we could pull those permits.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so just for general information again. So to your knowledge, has the department done any of their own permitting that relieve the city from that Juliana man-hours and resources?
They can, claim like state sovereign to the local, so they could avoid or not have to get permits from us, but generally they do come in for permits because we're able to issue the CO for those properties, which are usually necessary for insurance purposes and other purposes.
Okay, so the whole reason I'm asking everyone is because the department went through a process to where they self-authorized their permitting. So I'm just inquiring with you, since this is the city and county's primary responsibility for DPP, if the has actually exercised that authority that they gave themselves.
If DHHL did,
Yeah.
so when they came out with a press release a couple years ago that they were going to do that, after that they did that announcement, when I did meet with DHHL, including Kali Watson, they decided that that wasn't the route that they were going to take, and that they would continue to come through DPP.
Okay, so as a beneficiary, sorry, we're trying to wrap it up. As a beneficiary, I thought that was great. It would expedite all of these housing developments that our current director is, touting. But if we're still dependent upon DPP, which you folks have improved your process, thank you very much, but it still doesn't alleviate and fully address the delays that we've always been familiar with. So, mahalo.
Thanks for asking that question because I wasn't aware that they went around the block on this one. From the meeting where they said that they were gonna have the DHHL, that would have been nice if Kali would have said something to the beneficiaries because, you know, I'm on the wait list too. But thank you, Auntie, for asking that question because now I know.
Can I add
Uh,
something real quick, Chair?
yes, go ahead.
Just real
Please.
quickly, I would just like to say, we have been working with DHHL, and part of that they have asked, even with our AI, if we could adjust our AI to better serve DHHL beneficiaries. So we are trying to partner with them to make it a faster process in general for beneficiaries. So it's not like as if they're not trying to find faster solutions, and we are in partnership with them to do that.
Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate that. We have Johnny May. Johnny May, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. So Dawn, piggybacking on the HHL, Hawaii Housing Finance and Development, they come through DPP as well?
Like HHFDC.
Correct.
No, they actually have their own route, pretty much separate, but kind of in parallel with DPP. It just depends if the projects decide to go through them, which is usually like funding based, or they might come through DPP.
Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to Parks on the Memorial Day. They hit their target amount of 41,000 lays. Thank you for their services and all the volunteers. In the environmental border water supply bill, the $250 credit for environmental fee, the application was in there. Thank you very much. This month and last month, there's 2 SMA major came to this board. The question I have is, what is the possibility of adding a condition about them having literature about vacation rental or bed and breakfast that's not in this zone to make them aware and hold them accountable of not opening that sort of business? What can DPP do on those 2 SMA major? Are you willing to? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it is one of the general conditions that we include that it can't be used for short-term rentals. But in any case, if it's the zoning that doesn't allow short-term rentals, they can't do it, and we would enforce upon them if they did.
It's just that our neighborhood, they close their eyes when things occur which shouldn't occur. So I just wanted to put it on the owner that they comply
Yes.
with the ruling. Thank you, Dawn. I'll send you the text map key number on both of them. Thank you for answering the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody else online. And then second round in person board. Anybody? No. Auntie Kapua, you can make it fast.
So much. Okay, so has DHHL submitted any of their own self-approved applications? And has the city DPP accepted it as is? Or is the city still imposing city process rules that still hinders the department from expediting these permits?
From what I mean, DHHL can exempt themselves from DPP process or permits. And generally we just ask for records so that we're aware of what the building, what kind of building has gone up. But they don't necessarily have to come to us at all, and they could move forward. But I don't believe that they have done that.
Okay, so if and when they do, does it put a kink in the process when it comes to turning the roads over to the county when we're utilizing the full county services? Like, I mean, our homestead is almost 50 years and a lot of the roads still belong to the department, although they followed city and county DPP rules. So the question this time here is, does utilizing DHHL DPP process hinder approval today or throwing kinks for tomorrow?
Does it hinder? I mean, I think it's helpful when they do come. Okay, so now you're talking about like city roads, infrastructure.
Yes.
So through our subdivision process or other, horizontal permitting, it is better because things are required to be held to city standards, which is always important, so that the maintenance and upkeep and everything are up to par, so that when it is turned over, I mean, that's the only way we will allow it to be turned over for our upkeep and maintenance, is that it's held to those standards. So
Yeah, so
Auntie Kapoor, can I take you guys in contact? I'll give you her information so you can ask her. And then Dawn, when you
Yes.
respond to Auntie, whether it's on the phone or email, can you please include me? Because I'd like to know the answer to her questions also, and that I
Sure.
can share with my board, please.
Yes,
I really
yes.
appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm going to take one more, and that's Koko'ohu. We've been on the subject for a while, that's why. Okay. And I'll give you guys the contact info so that you can. Go ahead, Koko'ohu.
Yeah, aloha, Don. So my question was with ENV, yeah. When they came to Aramoku a couple times and was like not being transparent when we first asked them where that we definitely don't want any more landfills in Wai'anae, and if there was what was the next site, and they weren't transparent enough because it was the very next month at Kapolei, the Kapolei Makakilo neighborhood board, they came up with Makaiva Hills. And I talked to Matthew Kairos, who's the representative for James Campbell Estates, which owns that property on Makaiva Hills, that they ENV never came to them. So my question to you, Don, did ENV they would have to come, I'm assuming they came to DPP to ask for the permitting or whatever permits need for Makaiva Hills?
Yeah.
That's my question.
So they have asked for what is called a PIM, a public infrastructure map symbol, and that is required before, when it's a government kind of a facility, they need to get this PIM designation that helps them to get the funding for the project. So that's something that DPP processes. So they came to us for that, but it's a council approval is required. So even though they came for that PIM resolution, the council did not hear that resolution for that PIM, so it stalled. But they did come to us for that.
Okay, thank you. Interesting the fact on that, but yeah, okay. Thank you, Don.
Sure.
Thank you, Koko'ohu. Go ahead, Dana.
Dana Newman, it's two questions. One is Makaiva Hills, the cultural sites in the space. The city has done their due diligence in understanding the petroglyphs and other historical cultural space exist in the area. Yes or no?
I think if we're talking about the PIM process, I think that's something, and if they were to move forward, it's something that would be required, but they have not necessarily done yet.
Okay, and the second question is in regards to when ocean animals come to our shores because of they've expired, such as the monk seals, turtles, and seabirds. does Ocean Rescue, which is sometimes assist in carrying out the process of removing those animals from the ocean onto the land space, are they trained in cultural procedures or any type of hule or to assist with getting the animals to where Kanaka Maoli feel that their energy should move into?
I'm not sure. I can take that question back. I would think that they would have to contact DLNR to help with that process, and I'm not sure what DLNR's their protocol is, but I'll take that question back and I can bring an answer to next month's neighborhood board meeting.
The only reason is that I witnessed a video of a seal being dragged by its tail. And yes, it has expired, but it should not have been dragged by its tail onto the sand area and into whatever space. I don't know who responded, but there are cultural practitioners in Wai'anae that can assist in processes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we'll check on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate you and your time.
Thank
Mahalo.
you. Mahalo.
Next up, we have Council Member District 1, Andrea Tupola. Go ahead.
Hey, aloha chair, aloha board members, and welcome Maile De Soto. Good to see you. Glad you're on the board. Just real quick, we do have full council tomorrow. There are two bills that are very important. So Bill 22 is our city operating budget. I will tell you that a few of the highlights in that budget of things that I incorporated that I do believe will stay incorporated after our vote tomorrow. One is a handful of things that came from our HPD vacancy task force report, and you can look up some of those. Secondly, I did put in the money for the gate. So a few meetings ago, Jan Makepa came forward and they said that part of their Firewise plan was to have the gate at Kaupuni Park. So the funding is in for that. And then I also did put in funding for the renaming of the Wai'anae District Park. So the sign itself, I put in the funding for that. So that's also in Bill 22. So if anyone wants to testify, that will be, those two things are for our community and it's in that bill. In Bill 23, this is the important one. If you are available to testify or even submit written testimony, I did put in the Kula Aupuni Street drainage. Again, it's still not completed, but we have been having some progress with the administration on that issue, so that's important. I did put a long reach excavator. This is important. Every time you guys talk about stream cleaning, the city has two. So we have a new excavator. We have an old one that's kind of dying. So this is for us to invest in another one. These are the machines that clean out the stream mouth. The next thing that I put in, or that I took out, that everyone, if you can testify in support, is I took out the money for the landfill. So there's 30 million in there. I removed it from the budget. And I believe as of tomorrow, it's going to stay removed. So without the money, they cannot acquire the land. And also, because they requested the PIM hearing so late, and they requested us to have an emergency zoning meeting, I did have to lobby all my colleagues to figure out who was in favor of this. Our entire zoning committee is against having the PIM hearing, so we did not schedule the hearing. They actually asked us to have the hearing last week so that they could pass it through tomorrow, but that is not happening. We did not have the public infrastructure map symbol meeting, which is actually necessary for them to acquire the land. So again, those are, what Koka'ohu brought up is true. The first time I even heard the word Makaiva Hills was March 16th in the budget hearing. They never did say it to our community. They never did mention it to me. Then from March 16th, there was some type of sprint to the end to try to make this happen, but it's not going to happen. So hopefully tomorrow, again, it's in the budget that it's still not inserted. But after we take the vote tomorrow, it's important that I count to 10. So the mayor has 10 days to veto. If they want to veto the bill, they can, but we have secured up votes to override the veto. But once the 10 days pass, then I will be more assured that this acquisition of land and this expansion of landfill will not happen. So those are my updates. I am open for questions.
Anyone in person, come to the microphone. Board, anybody? Nope. Okay, we're gonna go online. So I see online Kauko'o. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrea, thank you for that information. Thank you for listening to the voice of the Wai'anae Moku that we don't want any more landfills on our Moku. But my question was, what's going to be the new name of the Wai'anae Gym?
Oh, they already did the ceremony. So just the gym portion is named after Shinye Nakamine. So it was the 100th Battalion. So he actually died in combat. So there were 3 gentlemen, but I don't know if you guys know Kimie Korinaga, but she works at Sea Rider. That's her grandpa. So he was part of the infantry. He wasn't same time as Herbert Pili La'au, different time, but also he was honored veteran.
Okay, Korinaga, because I wonder if Mrs. Korinaga was my favorite. So, in Wai'anae High School, she was. Okay, all right, thank you.
Mahalo.
Okay, online, Johnny May.
Thank you, Chair. First question, Andrea, when is the Wai'anae Community Sustainable Plan is gonna be finished? There's the city having concert in the 3 city botanical gardens. It would be nice if we could have a concert at Wai'anae District Park. Also, Alexander and Baldwin, who owns Wai'anae Mall, they have concert in Kailua. So, but they don't have any in Wai'anae. And lastly, the Reso 26-12H, which was canceled from the zoning. It was to put a PIMS by the old post office, but that was removed. But there's some kapunas that may be interested in having a community garden. So there's something for you to consider. Thank you, Council Member.
Thank you, Johnny May. I'll bring the answers back, Chair.
Okay, in person, Hanaho. Come to the mic.
Mahalo for your works in shutting down Makaiba Hills, because we don't need any landfill extension, expansion, or new ones out on the west side, which actually goes beyond our 9679 boundary. But I'm hoping that we kill Makaiba Hills dead, done, gone. How is your committee that's discussing future alternatives coming along? And how do we get community people on that committee? Because it's the community people like Kingdom Pathways and other individuals or entities that are really doing the work that informs us so much. So to have a whole bunch of titled people, whether they be governments or other agencies, it's the community input that really stops or moves things forward. So how do we get more community representation, and how is that committee or panel or board that you had proposed to put together, how is that coming along?
Thank you, Auntie. So that's Resolution 26-7, Ending Landfills Task Force. There are designated people, 15 people that are on the task force. One of the things that I really need to get done is I actually have to get all the agencies to agree with me that we should end landfills. Many of them don't agree with me. And so I think part of it is us putting forward and researching a lot of the technology that's out there, but we are having a public forum in late January of next year, where we're going to incorporate a lot of businesses and other communities in an open forum that will then inform the task force. Unfortunately, on the task force, I'm limited on how many people can be on it, but the report will be public, and we will have one public hearing where people can kind of give their insight, and then we'll incorporate it into the report that's generated. Remember, the report itself is going to suggest the path forward to end it and then how we can fund it. But it's not necessarily going to be a decision making, right? It's just the task force recommendations. But I will make sure that the community knows about the public forum.
That's great, but what about community input? Community mana'o about what they think should be done, and to have these agencies and individuals respond to the community concerns before the report is generated while they're discussing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. People have actually met with me almost every week. I take 2 to 3 meetings about the landfill, about waste to energy, about people who agree that this needs to end, who have solutions. So you can meet with me now. I'm taking all that input. I'm putting it into the task force. But again, when we have the public forum, people can weigh in there as well. So it's not going to be without any community input. Just unfortunately, the meetings that we have are going to be heavily academically focused, meaning that we're going to focus on a lot of the studies that have come out. We're going to focus on the things that we think are possible. There is some disagreement on that front as far as the solid waste branch and the ENV. So I do think that all of this process is going to be possibly this year into end of November. My report is due in November next year. So I will make sure, and anybody who wants to meet with me and give me their manao, we can start to incorporate it, and there will still be a public forum for us to have it again.
Okay, mahalo, but if you're able to have a shadow or to have somebody carry your books, I think Kingdom Pathway would volunteer. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Okay. Oh, we got one more. Go ahead.
Aloha, Andrea. It's Nani. I know you've been super busy. I actually want to, I want to be a part of one of the city council hearings coming up next month in regards to something I emailed a few of you guys, the sovereignty citizen policy from HPD. It is signed by Kealoha and it needs to be reviewed. The policy actually shows that we are invalid, our documents and we are invalid is basically what it says. And so there needs to be discussion on how changes can happen in understanding that we are not invalid.
Okay.
And so that's one. Another question is in regards to the Makaha Resort. Apparently, it's in the move for a big resort. Wanting to know what your thoughts are and if you agree on this movement with the resort and what are the impacts culturally and environmentally that you are aware of. I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I can discuss with my staff where the best forum would be for your question. It could be Public Safety Committee. It could also be, I think you said Kealoha's name. Is that CCSR that you were referring to? Yeah. So I can speak with Kealoha on where she thinks that forum, because Matt Wire's
I'm sorry.
committee is in.
Sorry,
Is it Kealoha?
Chief Kealoha's name is on the policy signed that HPD still follows.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so then it would be Public Safety Committee. That's Augie's one, so I can discuss with him about it if he can have a discussion about it. And then secondarily, I've heard so many different things about the Makaha Resort. I've met with multiple people who have said that they have plans and things to do, and it's moved from person to person. I think it's like the fourth group that's met with me that said they have these grand plans, but not seen anything surface. I don't know currently if the current group is moving forward or not. They did tell me they were thinking of the R5 parcel to give it to DHHL, but not seen any solid plans. So I wouldn't be able to answer your question because one, I've not seen exactly what they're doing, and are they set on it? Because I've seen it change 4 or 5 times what they're proposing to the community. And two, I don't think there's any specific permits tied to it that I can have any reliability on what they're suggesting. Not yet. So I haven't seen that, but I will keep you updated, Nani. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any online. In person, one more. Go ahead, Auntie Calais.
West side, we having a lot of issues on the beaches now and then, yeah. So we wanted to know what is the intentions that you as a councilwoman, how are you gonna address dogs on the park, encampments? You got your good and you got your bad encampments. And why I'm saying you got your good and you got your bad, because people come to us and say, I was just put my tent up and I went to the store. Somebody else can steal my tent and they see the tent, but they don't want to address or call the cops because they get threatened. But the dog is the number one thing I'm worried about on our parks, because I care how those animals come on agricultural lands and they attack the animals. And when we turn around cleaning and weed eating They coming into the yard and barking, you know. There's a law that, Garrett had passed, holding a dog owner responsible. But if the dog is loose and no one thinks of it after an incident happened and it's on city ground, is the city gonna be responsible? So it's.
Yeah, thank you.
Is the city gonna be responsible if it stays on park?
Thank you, Auntie, for the question. So every incident needs to be reported right away, right? Because the dog, the time, the park, all of that, those specificity is what HPD has to work with. We do have a city contract with Humane Society where when they are called, they do come and get strays when they are reported. So please make sure to report those or if people run into it, because I think in general, without the specifics, then HPD can't be as accurate. Secondarily, in regards to the encampment, I just wanted to shout out Representative Maroka and Kila. They have both been helping me at the parks in their various districts as far as safety and actually improvements. So we do have some cleanups coming up actually this month. I have one with Rep Maroka and then I have one in Eva with Rep Alcos. So as far as the encampments and addressing the safety, I'm working with the representatives as well as HPD on that.
Okay, what I'm trying to say about, those dogs, because when my animals, my livestock was killed, okay, the city, where HPD was chasing those dogs on a park, okay, I turned around, put a claim to, they turned around, point a finger to DLNR. So here I had two people pointing to each other, okay. Nobody takes responsibility. But who it falls on? Me, my animals, my livestock. But they like to point finger at each other. Nobody took responsibility. So as an agriculture, I'll tell you something. If I gotta take things in my own hands to protect my livestock, protect my family, then I'll do it. But you guys gotta be responsible too. Because I'm not gonna turn around and allow you folks aiding and abetting the situation that we've been facing. Agriculture landowners. You guys do not feed my family. I feed my family. So please think about that. And I don't want the pointing fingers. Enough is enough. Because the pointing finger was too much. That's why I took. Remember. So
Thank you, Auntie. I want to thank Mike Lambert. He's really ramped up the ag enforcement at DLE a lot. So definitely they're reaching out to HPD and trying to educate the officers more on all the ag enforcement. But I do want to thank him for the meeting they had out in Kea'au and also their efforts to use drones and increase their services to agriculture farmers.
yes, I have a meeting with them too. Thank you, Mahalo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last one, because we need to move on. Is running out.
HPD that was on the line right now about this Catman dog that's on unleashed KLs. Okay, they pose this as a threat. That's how I express myself to HPD tonight's communication with them. So they'll be looking into it, and you be on top of them as well too, please. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Uncle. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Councilwoman Chupuola. Appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
sir.
Okay, moving on to Governor Green's rep, Diamond. Okay, not here, so we're moving on to State Senator Samantha D. Court. Go ahead.
Aloha, Chair, board members, Samantha D. Cord. I have a few updates, but I did want to get back to community member Perry. She had posed some statements, but I guess there were questions last month, so I did want to get back to her. She had mentioned the legislature introducing a bill that would increase the age limit for chief justices. That died. So the current age for retirement for chief justice is age 70. She did make a few statements about flooding issues. The state right now is working on additional drainage systems. I know that Pa'akea Road is not necessarily in the Wai'anae Makaha district. However, it is something that's very top of mind for us. So Department of Transportation, Ed Sniffen, is in fact working on a drainage system for Pa'akea Road. But just to kind of remind the community that the state has acquired in 2024 Pa'akea Road. So it is responsibility of the state. So any questions or anything that you guys have pertaining to Pa'akea Road, please feel free to contact myself or Representative Moraoka. But although we will have our drainage system that we are working on, until we start cracking down on the Navy, where really all the flooding is coming from, it will just continue to be over flooding coming over the Navy base and onto our roads. So right now there's a transition of leadership. So I'm waiting for the new person to come in before I can actually have that discussion with them. Now this is something that I have been talking to the recent leadership about, but there's a new guy coming in, and when there's a new guy coming in, there's new priorities, new funding requests. So I'm just waiting for that to come in. And then also, a few community things. This one is very important. Kingdom Pathways is having a community meeting regarding geothermal on June 5th. I want to encourage the community to go to that. That has been very top of mind for DHHL. In fact, they tried to acquire $5 million from the ledge this session to do a study. However, and if you folks watch the hearing, I questioned to ask if they received a beneficiary consultation on that, and they didn't. So I think before we start moving in that direction of paying, of paying taxpayer money, that we do a beneficiary consultation first and foremost. But DHHL is looking at the Wai'anae Coast and Lu'u'u'ole area as a geothermal hotspot. So it's important that we be tapped into what's happening with plans that DHHL may or may not have on the Wai'anae Coast. I really want to encourage everybody to attend that. Also, kind of side note, Kahumana Farms did start their Kakao for Keiki initiative today. So I'm going to go ahead and send the link to the chair if you can get that off to the board members in our community. Again, this is for any student that's on the Wai'anae Coast that attends our DOE schools. They're going to be giving each child seven meals, both for breakfast and lunch, so they can pick up once a week. So they've already given out 600 boxes yesterday, and they've been kind of going through 600 to 700 boxes every day. You just have to bring a valid ID, and if you want to have somebody else pick it up for you, you can do that as well. But this is just a good opportunity for make sure that we don't have any difficulty when it comes to food, especially if we have resources like Kahumana Farms that are willing to do that. You know what, I'll go ahead and open up for questions if anybody has any questions.
Johnny May, go ahead. For those in person, if you get question, come to the mic. Well, Johnny
thank
May,
you,
go
Chair.
ahead.
Thank you, Senator, for your awesome report. The Pa'akea flooding has been going on too long. So it's time to finally settle it and putting this additional infrastructure and working with the Navy even closer. It's been much too long and overdue. Also, the geothermal, DHHL put a list out. However, none of it is on Zoom. I contacted the HHL and haven't heard back, and there's no representative tonight about it. So that way we know what's going on, but you have to go in person, and like they're gonna have neighbor islands. So the more I can see it, the more I'm aware of what's going on. But so far I haven't heard anything of it going on Zoom, and tonight, no DHHL representative. Thank you.
I'll see if I can find some kind of presentation. They didn't send it through when they did their testimony to ask for the money. But if I can find something, I'll send it to you, and I'll send it to the board as well. But they have identified Lu'u'u'ole as a geothermal hotspot. So again, just getting in front of these projects before everything is kind of set in stone, I guess. Oh, also, good news. The cesspool working group, as you may or may not know, Wai'anae Coast is priority #1 for the cesspool conversion. And so I was able to get Carmen Simpliciano on the working group to make sure that Wai'anae has a seat at the table, that our voice is continuing to be prioritized. So so they also are doing a lot of community work with regards to cesspool, but I feel very assured that she will represent us well and make sure that all angles of this conversion, which I don't know how that's going to happen, but that we have the proper representation.
Johnny, may you finish ask your questions? Just wanted to double check before I move on.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Auntie, come.
Aloha and mahalo, Samantha. Regarding the geothermal, there were some reports and Kingdom Pathways has already pulled them up. So they are ready for this Friday's community meeting that you shared earlier. And regarding DHHL's, request for money, there does seem to be some conflict of interest. But, absent transparency and engagement by the beneficiaries, there should be no money allocated. Because it's just one-sided. And even if that one side is correct, it is good to hear all sides of an opinion. So there's the Puna geothermal that's already existing. If you go on Facebook, you can see what some of those neighbors have to say about it, especially when during the COVID and when they got really ugly up there. So they suffered some. Something that we need to be cognizant of. The department and others did go to, I think it was Aotearoa or down to our Pacific cousins, which do have access, and it's a great thing, but is it great for us? Needs to, be considered. So I wanted to thank you also for ensuring that Carmen is on the cesspool talk story. So we always want to keep ahead of that. And if possible, to CC Jan, Makepa, and myself, not volunteering her for anything, but she's leading our homestead with the department and trying to convert in an affordable manner.
Yeah, thank you, Auntie. I am very aware of what's happening down in Puna with the experiences that some of the residents are having with regards to geothermal, as well as some of these other reports that have pretty much some negative consequences. So I'm very skeptical, and I'm sure it's no surprise to anybody there that I have been a strong advocate for DHHL to just focus on building homes. We're starting to step into everything, and we become a jack of all trades instead of a master of but yeah, thank you for that, Auntie. And I will be at the geothermal meeting for Kingdom Pathways, but it's definitely something our community wants to get in front of. So thank you for that.
No. Okay, we're gonna be the last one then. Go ahead.
Samantha, I just wanna, again, bring awareness that sometimes we can make the statement to suggest that the department is not doing what they need to do, but if our government is not funding projects for our department or not giving any money, then it begins with that also. So the balance needs to be there. We need to be open to listening to the needs of beneficiaries. Right now, the focus is on housing. But if you do not have a revenue source to fund these housing projects, you end up relying on government, which is not willing to give our people the money. So I appreciate your awareness and your balance. So mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, Board Member.
Okay, we have no one else. Thank you, Senator DeCourt, for your time. Appreciate it.
Mahalo.
Okay, moving on to State Rep Chris Muraoka.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I don't know where we lost our luster, but man, our crowd is getting small again. Very happy to see our full board. Richard, always honor to see you guys happy faces. Couple simple updates. First and foremost, big mahalos. One of the things I got into office was to help fix Wai'anae. One of the big things in Wai'anae was safety. Very happy to thank Ed Sniffen and his department. We got speed bumps over there in front of the Boys and Girls Club. And we got more coming out here in Makaha, Lahaina Street scheduled for end of June, early July, as well as Farrington along between water and from Jade to water. So those are things really happy. Pokaipe Jenny Wa, as we all know, Kingdom Pathways does a lot of good work. We just were on back and forth today with Megan from the LNR, sending her some pretty choice words about making sure the monies don't lapse. She reaffirmed us today that the money won't lapse. We are working on some hydraulic studies, waiting for a few things with Carmen. So that thing is moving. Unfortunately, it's not moving like molasses, but it is moving. And I always say, as long as it's going forward, progress is good. Yeah. To answer your thing, Board Chair, you sent an email about some complaints about PFAS and rhino dung and some of that stuff. We did reach out to the LNR. They haven't gotten any complaints, so I don't have any response for that. There was no complaints. Maybe whoever sent you the complaints, send them to me. I can get more info and do a little bit more research on that. I do want to say, I know one of the topics earlier was the road washout past Waicomos. So it is open. The road is fully open. We all know that there's a one-way washout by Waicomos. There's yield signs, there's a stop line. We got to use the aloha spirit. Yeah, you see the car coming. If you closer, okay, go. If you not, let them come. But it is open. It is open for traffic. The beach isn't. The beach isn't. I stated earlier to that lady that was on. Keapaula, as it stands right now, is unsafe. From what the LNR says, it's unsafe. The washout and first and second dip, as well as the hiking trails. Memorial Day weekend, I did try and go out there myself just to take a look at it. Even I was turned around at Keaus. But it did open afterwards. It is open. There are some landowners and homeowners that live out there. The road is open. So if you guys want to help spread that word, then that's good. We really, it's just, you know, session ended last month. This is the first time in the 2 years we haven't had a top story. Just kind of wrapping up all our loose ends, making sure you guys know how I am. I keep things pretty simple. We address the small stuff and make sure. Oh, update, City and County and Middle Park. You guys know that's something that Andrea and I took on, you know, personally. We did our donations and whatnot. I know about 2 weeks ago, they were out there painting. So I anticipate an opening coming up very soon. That's another park we get to use. And like Kaupo, who would say, and me and him agree so much, I hope our people take care of it. I hope they understand that we cannot keep damaging our shit and blaming everybody else. We gotta take care of our own stuff out here. And with that, I'm open for questions. Oh, yes. So before I open for questions, June 20th, that's very near and dear to my heart, Rep. Keela's heart, and I'm sure everybody sitting in this room, fentanyl. It is big. Fentanyl is killing, and it's coming in the form of so many different disguises. For our kids, it looks like candy, Skittles, gummies. That can kill you. Rep. Keela and I have a joint town hall coming up here June 24th. It'll be at the Wai'anae Mall Arca Safety Community Center, where we have a bunch of guest speakers and we have a limited supply of NorCal on hand. First come, first serve is going to be distributed. So please spread the word on that. Fentanyl is no joke. Fentanyl is no joke. It starts at 6:30, I believe. 6. Show up at 6. You know, when we do stuff, it's always snacks and drinks. Come get some.
Okay, so in person, any community member, come to the mic.
Aloha, our wonderful Representative Moroka. Do you have an insight regarding Amazon that's coming in. They're gonna couple it right now, Senator Gabbard is concerned about the height of the magnitude of this structure. It's gonna be 5 stories and I don't know about a football field wide, length. To his attention is what happens in couple A going to affect the commute through our area, Fairfield Highway that comes to the west side. Is there any foresight that the Amazon going to be providing assistance for our commuting on Fairfield Highway? Because when something happens at Onakahale, we have a major gap. It's affecting the people on the west side. Do you have an insight on that, sir?
So for the record, I support that Amazon thing coming, and this is why. We met with Amazon spokesperson, Mr. McKee. And the good thing that'll help is Amazon has committed to hire or give first, right of first refusal to the residents of our coastline, as well as the nearby areas. So when we're talking about traffic, Amazon has said that they are gonna give livable wage jobs to our community first. Our people will get right of first refusal for a lot of these jobs, and they're anticipating over 1,000 jobs. That's huge. Now, I do know that they're trying to change the height restriction, or they're trying to get an exception. I don't know where that is. You guys all know how I deal with my position. I deal with Wai'anae and Makaha only. I don't focus on any place else. If you folks want, I can go look into that and come back with an answer.
I have them presenting in August, but I do know because I got the DPP information in that they're amending their permit from 60 feet to 100 feet in height. Too much. But anyway, I have them presenting in August because there is a lot of concerns from community in regards to Amazon coming out this side. So yeah. That all of that we can ask him that question. I can actually give you his email so you guys can start the convo, but then we can bring it here. Because I know that's gonna be a lengthy one. And that's why I picked August, because I already had stuff lined up for June, July. When he asked me, it was too late. I already turned in my agenda. So I told him August, we'll only have 2 presentations because that one's gonna be long. And I may have to move that one to somewhere else that's larger because I know that might draw a lot of community members. Yeah. So I having them come.
So I know that there's construction right now, and the construction is anticipated to be completed before Amazon builds. So it's gonna have a whole nother avenue getting all the way into Campbell. The new roads that they're building takes us all the way into the harbor. So it's a direct route. So we will have multiple accesses that should help on the ingress. Yeah.
Anybody else in person, come to the mic.
Not for you, Rep. Even though the governor's not here, time permitting, I think we should be able to say some things about what we would have liked for him to address, because we have those concerns. Mahalo.
Anybody else in person for rep? Online, we have Koko'ohu. Go ahead, Koko'ohu.
Hey, Chris, good to see you again. So when you were talking about like, the influx of fentanyl, right, coming in, and it's been already coming into our community, and fentanyl is like way more worse than ice and whatnot. So is for next year session to make some real strict laws on whoever gets caught with fentanyl? Like because my understanding, fentanyl is way worse than ice and everything else that's out there.
Pogo, as always, I'm always willing to sit down with anybody and help create that or write up that bill. My stance has been and has always been any drug. I like slam all drug dealers to the wall, right? There's no secret about that. Any drug, fentanyl is the worst of the worst that we've seen. So yeah, if we can get that across, and we have Representative Keela here who, we can work with, whatever is on the table, we need to get it off our streets. And if we can do that, then I'm all for it.
Okay, go ahead,
Chris.
board member Dina, go ahead.
So the question is, have you been in conversation with the communities at the Boat Harbor and at Sewers? Because the time is ticking, there has been dates set up for them, those living in those spaces to move out. And yet we don't really have some sort of plan or where we're gonna put them in tents up in the mountain or. Why they get moved?
You know, right now, there is a tentative date. That was a joke. Right now, there is a tentative date. However, I will inform you, Kupuna Council and I have been in talks about an alternative plan, hopefully. I'm not promising anything. I just know that we're talking about the possibility. And you know, Dana, we always talk about this, yeah? And maybe you guys can help. I've said this 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,001 tonight. Go help spread the word, because nobody is against homeless or houseless. We're against pilau. Okay, let me repeat that. Nobody against homeless or houseless. We against pilau. Like Auntie over there said, we're against the fact that we cannot go to the beach without fear of one dog attacking us. We cannot go to the beach without fear of our car getting robbed. Now, I'm born and raised Makaha, Dana, you are too. And we understand that growing up at Makua had homeless families our whole life. But the way they would live there was welcoming and was aloha. Nobody would complain about those people on the beach today if they lived that style. It's the pilau, the crime, the open rampant drug use that we see. That's what we against. So I get plenty of miscommunication of that we against the homeless and the houseless and the poor. None of that is true. We against the pilau.
I agree with you. I'm against the pilau also. What I'm suggesting is that we should have a plan of how we move people from one space into other spaces so that the pilau doesn't move from this space to another space, because I would hate for, say, Auntie Kale and Uncle to be here talking about the pilau now in Waikumo because we did not have a plan of action to move people into spaces.
So Dana, this I can tell you. If I think where you're going, let me head you off at the pass. This I can tell you, nobody is removed without a plan. Nobody is removed without first offering them opportunities to go into one shelter, one program, one treatment. But you guys also got to understand that when we do these things, get people who just know like. And now that's what's left. You know, I know earlier was mentioned about the coastlines. Take a look from Nanakuli to Makaha to Kaiani. Our coastlines are slowly starting to come back. We can watch and see sunsets. There's a few pockets still, but we got to ask ourselves, okay, are these people willing to take help? Are these people wanting help? Are these people doing what they have to do to accept the help? Or are these people just no like?
So should I take the pictures of all the pilau that's left behind? Because I do walk the spaces. I do harvest many of the shells on our shores because I do practice certain cultural practices. And when I go to the space, there has been no cleanup. Things have been left behind. So I will start documenting by taking pictures to show that if we're going to have a plan, it includes cleaning up the area. As those in charge of taking care, having kuleana to the space, such as the state and the city, we should be cleaning these areas when we move people out of the area.
Yeah, and for the most part, we do. I mean, I know the ones I've been involved with, Dana, the ones I've been personally involved with. I get involved and I get involved deep. I bring personal equipment, personal resources, and I clean up 100% because working with our CPT, we understand that's the only way they can get enforcement is by cleaning out. And then when it's back to ground zero, then we gotta let the place heal. And then that's the only way they can enforce it after that.
Okay, we're at 9:11. We're gonna do the last one because we still get Rep Keela and other things to go through.
Mahalo, Nani, board member, aloha first. I completely hear all that you're saying. I think the missing piece to the puzzle is culture. Yeah, when Auntie Twinkles is the very one that said when we give kule ana, that brings mana. Yeah, don't know that I said that correct, but to that lines, right? And that comes with culture. And so I guess what I'm asking, what is the date of this sewers sweep?
I don't have that right now.
You don't have that
But I
right
can
now.
get it to you.
Okay. I'm asking that you allow community practitioners to implement culture in your process.
Well,
I-
Nani, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why do we have to wait for the sweep for community practitioners to come in?
I'm already doing that, so let's not go there.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Like Kupuna Council reached out and they reached out with a great plan. And you guys all know, good, bad, or ugly, I take every phone call. And she had a
Not
great.
all the time.
All the time, every single time. I'll use your words, let's not go there. But Kupuna Council reached out, they have a wonderful plan that we're gonna reach. Unfortunately, she was sick. So we didn't meet last week. We plan on meeting later this week to hammer out some details before I can go present it to the powers to be, and hopefully we can get that. But if there is cultural, you guys are out there already, then you guys don't need us.
Oh no, we need to do this kako. This is a kako thing. Yeah, and so we're sticking to the normal process of what we're used to seeing happen. And what I'm suggesting is build relationships with us to do this together. Not us doing by ourselves, together. Oh yeah.
I'm always open to togetherness as long as we share the same end goal. That's the bottom line. We gotta share the end goal. Personal, emotions gotta get taken out of it. We gotta share the end goal, be professional about it, agree to disagree with the shared end goal.
I agree with that completely. We can agree.
Okay,
to
we
dis-
cannot have a conversation just between the two of you as if nobody else
I'll go ahead and
exists
text you,
in the room,
email you. I
please.
hope I get another response.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We have nobody online and nobody else in person? Huh? We gotta move on because it's already 9:14 and we're supposed to end at 9:15. So thanks, Rep.
I just wanna say, Pikachu looks a lot better in a hat than glasses.
Yeah. Thank you, Reps. We're moving on to Rep Darius Kila, House District 44.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Rep, and everyone else. Folks have my newsletter. I want to be respectful of your folks' time. It's been I think, a productive legislative session. I think one thing that we have agreed upon in both District 44 and 45 is making sure that we have consistent laws to make sure our traffic safety is top of mind and top of priority. I take serious pride in the legislation that is sitting before Governor Green to do that and address just that. Because you just submitted testimony on the city council bill to finally adopt the ordinance update for the e-bike bill that's sitting before the governor. I'm really proud of that measure. That's a game changer. So governor hasn't inclined if they will be vetoing that measure. It seems ready to go. And I think we've done really well this session on that and many other issues. I want to thank Dana and Nani folks because there's a resolution we passed in the legislature to work with the department to allow them to find an indigent pathway for our beneficiaries that oftentimes get overlooked. So the department knows that we want to try to service every Native Hawaiian beneficiary that falls in that scope. So I think legislatively, we had a really productive session alongside Rep. I always want to clarify that we work well together. We don't always agree, but we work really well. And I'm very happy for that partnership. And it's a privilege always to represent Nanakuli and to be here with you folks this evening.
Anyone, community questions in person, come to the mic. Can you all line up? Because like literally we're out of time, but I'm just gonna keep going. Hopefully we beat Olelo.
What I'm trying to say is, we're looking for a place where our houses could be accommodated, like up in the Twinkles area. They don't have the structures. Can we have the HONU, and when the MOA, we have the city assist and put an HONU out there? give them bathrooms, everything, dignity. You know, they'll eliminate the problems. Can we get the funding to do that and get on MOA with the state and city, put them on private land? Is that possible?
Short answer, maybe, but I think you folks know HONU is a city program, and respectfully, Councilmember Topola has raised concerns with the efficacy of HONU. And I believe the last time HONU was slated to come here, I think both boards opposed them coming here. I think in concept, HONU has, which, okay, non-Akuli board opposed them coming back this side. Forgive me. So, but to your point, Uncle, I don't think it's not possible. But yeah, I would have to defer to council member to see if HONU even has the capacity to execute an MOA or MOU.
Come to the mic, Uncle Kale, please. I mean, Uncle
This is for our
Austin.
people on this side of the island, not for the migrant that's coming from Maine. Because we've been seeing them in our area.
Yeah.
This is for our side.
Okay. Okay, so anybody else in person? Go, can you grab the microphone first? Uncle Lanford, you gotta be on the mic.
Mentioned that because of transportation issues that you when helping us out here on the west side, there was 3 speed bumps that was installed 2 weeks ago in front of Pililao Park on Plantation Road. And from what I understand from Joe Jordan, there's 2 other projects that's coming up. So thank you with the transportation push that you guys are doing for us. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't take full credit. It's not in the district, but Rep. Moroka did ask for help, and I was more than willing to get DOT to assist you folks. I just want to clarify, like, I'm still trying to figure. Largely, we know that enforcement is probably the overall mechanism we need, but until we get to a full staff, I just every time arrive alive, think of everyone else on the road. That's the message. So thank you. I can't take all the credit.
Thank you, Reb Kila. We appreciate you a lot. Go ahead.
So then, Hanford, because those were projects that have been going on for 8 years. Wai'anae Valley Road, which is going to be happening. Lahaina Street, which was asked for almost 12 years ago. And thank you for Plantation Road. We worked with Wai'anae almost 8 years ago on that. So I know our community dislikes these speed humps, but as you're saying, drive safe and arrive alive, right?
Thank you, Joel. I mean, and I just want to acknowledge, like, I only got in 4 years ago. I am privileged to chair the committee that has led all these initiatives. So I'm very thankful that that partnership pays dividends into this community directly. And there is another bill before the governor to consider the expansion of our camera program. Again, controversial, but I told you folks, I'm always willing to take controversy in the name of safety. So.
Thank you, Rep Kila. We really appreciate you. Okay, thanks. We're gonna move on to the minutes. We're gonna defer the minutes to the next meeting because we need to move on. So next for announcements, we have Lynn Miyahira, and know that 2 minutes because we really don't have time, so you gotta make it fast.
I'll make this very fast. My name is Lynn Miyahira. I'm working with a company called JERA. You might have heard that they're proposing to bring LNG and a new power plant to Hawaii. So this is going to be a lot of discussion, and I know that there's a lot of people who probably don't know enough to have an opinion and want to learn more. So we're going to have an informational session or open house on August 3rd is one. And that's going to be out in Blaisdell. So we are looking for something closer, hopefully in Kapolei area in July. And I'm sorry that I don't have the date for that yet, but I will definitely try to get back to you before at least the next meeting or before that. As soon as I have the date, I'll
10 days before July 7th. Yeah? I gotta put in my agenda.
kind of update you again
Okay.
on that, because this is definitely going to be something that takes longer than 10 minutes or anything. So we want people to be able to sit, talk, ask questions. So we'll do one meeting that's the only thing on the agenda. And the other thing I just wanted to add, because my buddy Kelly here, if you do have any questions, I know we don't have time right now, but you can ask him later.
Yep.
We were working together on this project. But it really is ultimately, the ultimate goal is to lower electricity rates, get us off of oil, which is the main thing, like 70% of our electricity is coming from burning oil. And then how do we get to a cleaner, step towards our 2045 clean energy goals? So that's really the main ultimate goal. I think we might
Send me the date, so even the August 3rd, time, place, and all that, I'll send it out.
time, date, venue. I will make sure we get that to you, but we wanted to come early to let you know. And then we might have some informal, info sessions so people can ask even before, like I'm seeing how the geothermal one has all one information before the information sessions, but Crystal,
Okay.
that might be something that we'll consider too.
Okay, thank you for your time, I appreciate it. Next one is Coconut Rhinoceros Beetle Response UH announcement. Arissa, are you on? Okay, she's not on, so I will give out that information and blast it to as much people as possible. I'm gonna move on to the next one. So full city council, Wednesday, June 3rd, which is tomorrow, 10 a.m. location. It's all Zoom and Honolulu Hale to testify for Bill 23 and 22, if I'm not mistaken. And then next regular board meeting is Tuesday, July 7th. You never correct me. It's not 2027, it's 2026. To elect board officers to serve from July 7th to Wednesday, June 30th. So it's the same 9 members. We just have to vote again for chair, vice chair, and yada, yada. That will take place here at the Wai'anae Public Library. And what you get, Auntie? You got a question? Gotta be fast.
Statement. The reason I came was because of Jera was on the.
It only was an announcement. They weren't presenting.
But so I just wanted to make a statement. If Diamond were here, I would have told him this, that the governor should not be signing us off the way he signed us off. Because what happened with the super ferry can happen again. Just because he does a stroke of a pen and he's gonna waive and exempt a whole bunch of things without us being fully informed, without us having secure knowledge that we're not gonna spend money up front, and they decide to back out. So if you don't know who Life of the Land is, please look it up. Be a little bit more balanced with your information. So by all means, let's take it from the source. Then let's take it from alternate sources so that we are informed. But I just want to caution this, that movement itself, I'm voting for somebody else. I don't like anybody taking a stroke of a pen and using our tax dollars and bypassing the process. He hasn't even spoken to the Public Utilities Commission. They didn't go through the process. So why are they being elevated as this is the way? Mahalo.
Okay, so yeah, that information, there was nothing signed, nothing in the bag. This is informational. They will be sharing, Jera will be sharing information with us on the west side, and she's trying to get one in close proximity to us because Blaisdell is really far away. However, as soon as I get the info, I promise to blast it to as much people as possible that I have your emails, and then I need you to blast it out because I have probably about 30 emails that I share everything and anything that I get, but I need you guys to help me in spreading that information out. Okay, with that being done, we're at 9:26 and meeting adjourned.